wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah. Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness?
Awesome power of nature, hot excitement of freedom.
Goes after you get struck by lightning. There's thunder.
Hey guys, what is up? What is up? Welcome to the 11th episode of the Pick and Roll podcast. It's me and Jeff, Nikki Steves, and our special guest, Further AM, Randy, should be here in a minute. How you guys doing? We got a big show for today. Big show.
Doing good. Doing good. I'm ready to talk some NBA. Ready to talk a lot of NBA stuff today and a lot of rumors on the horizon.
A lot. And speaking of rumors, I had a special direction I wanted to go with. Then this news dropped. And this big trade involving Russell Westbrook.
What's up, Barco?
Yeah, you guys won. Good for you. Oh yeah, shout out to LeBron. He broke Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's record. So shout out to LeBron, man. We're gonna get into that later. But so the Timberwolves are in discussions with a 3-team deal that would send D'Angelo Russell to the Lakers, Westbrook and draft compensation to Utah, and Mike Conley to the Timberwolves. And then if you go above here, there's ongoing discussions about Utah's Malik Beasley, Jared Vanderbilt as part of the 3-team deal to the Lakers. Sources side, and then how do you guys feel about this news? How do you guys feel about it?
I think it's a tremendous deal for the Lakers. I mean, you're able to pick up a good young player in Malik Beasley. You add him to your core. That's the one thing that the Lakers need to be thinking about going into the season and into the offseason is trying to acquire as many young assets as you can to try to rebuild their farm system and rebuild the young talent on this roster. And then you're able to get a D'Lo, a D'Angelo Russell back there who originally started with the Lakers before he was traded to the Nets in that deal with Brook Lopez. So I think it'd be a good deal for the Lakers and exactly something that they need. In terms of the Jazz, to me, it's just pretty much just getting Westbrook over there. I don't even know if he's going to last on the team. I could easily see
they're going to buy him out. They're going to buy him out.
And the Timberwolves, I mean, what is it going to be? Just to cut, draft capital, I'm guessing, more for the Timberwolves since they gave up so much to get Rudy Gobert. So, I mean, I guess it works out for all teams, but I think the Lakers in the return will be the ones that are really going to win out in this trade.
Honestly, I got to go to Timberwolves.
What's up, Danny?
I got to go to Timberwolves because of Mike Conley. Mm-hmm. Because having that veteran point guard with Anthony Edwards, I'm telling you, that was a good move for Minnesota. A good move. Is that going to help?
Yet? Is it done yet, the deal, or is it still?
No. I think they're still in discussions.
Yeah, so there might be more compensation they're talking about.
Let's see here. Is there anything else on Sam's? Let's see. Oh, come on. I got to go.
I wouldn't even be surprised if they're still talking about this into tomorrow.
Yeah.
surprised.
Malik Beasley, it's the same exact thing. And then if we go to Woj here, tomorrow is going to be all like this. Oh, yeah. Speaking of Westbrook, did you guys hear what happened yesterday?
Yeah,
Like,
he got
he
into a
had
verbal
fit.
argument with Ham, the head coach.
So that's the
Of
reason.
course.
Do you think that was the reason he's getting traded?
Wow.
Like they had enough?
Maybe. Those type
Yeah.
of things happen all the time. And you'll
Mhm.
never hear a definite answer. It'll never come out. They'll fully tell the truth that that's the reason. But it very well could be.
It don't matter if GD Buss loves Russ or not, Danny. Russ is probably out of there. Russ
I
is
think
gone.
Russ is
It's the
gone.
best thing for the Lakers. The best thing for the Lakers. You get him out of there, and you get a young, even though he's not young, D'Angelo Russell is still a pretty decent point guard. So I think it's a good trade for the Lakers.
I really do. Does this make him playoff contention?
Yes. I do
Ooh.
believe it does. I do believe it does. I mean, they're in playoff contention right now. I think they're in the 7th or 8th seed in the West at the moment. So you add a D'Angelo Russell, you add a Malik Beasley, you add a Vanderbilt to their roster to go with the guys they already have. You still have LeBron, you still have AD. I think it's going to make them, a team that might be a sleeper a little bit in the West. I don't think they're still going to beat, a Denver or a Memphis or one of the top teams, but it's going to definitely improve their future, adding a couple of younger pieces and maybe players are going to mesh better with AD and LeBron going into after this year.
That was a good. I love it. Oh, they're in 13th? They're in 13th.
Okay, so 13th month right now. With my bad. Hey, Blaze.
Yo, what's up, Blaze? What is up? So, Nikki, how do you feel about the trade perhaps happening?
For the Lakers, I think getting rid of Russell Westbrook is necessary at this point. I do feel that, it was the final straw last night to answer that question. Because we know for a year about now that Russ isn't happy with the Lakers and he's not fully on the same page there. So that's a good thing right there. And D'Angelo Russell at this point in time in 2023 is a better option at point guard. So that helps them right there.
I'm telling you, that was just it was
Push
never
for
a
the
good fit.
play-in tournament.
It was
As
never
far as
a
Mike
good
Conley goes,
fit.
it helps in the short term, but so it's good in the short term. At least give Anthony Edwards a veteran to work with, so it does good for that. I think the draft compensation, it could help the Jazz maybe, but I think with Russ at this point in his career, I don't know how that's going to work in the long term. Russ at this point isn't a guy you're going to trust long term.
D'Angelo Russell's still young too. He's only 26 years old, so it's like he's still in pretty much the prime or getting towards the prime of his career. So you're picking up still a relatively young player to add to the core that they have. So I mean, they get to add a young player back there. Coach,
How you
good
doing,
to see you back in the chat, Coach. Thank you.
Hey, Coach, I'm glad you're doing
Blessings to
well.
you.
Glad you're
Yes.
doing well.
Make sure you guys go sub up to Coach A. Gladney's Amazing World of Sports too. The king of the NFL draft, a king of anything to do with the NFL when it comes to prospects. So go check out his channel. When you want to know anything about NFL young prospects or college players going to the NFL for the draft, that's the first man you should go to.
Well,
He knows how to break it down.
Twitter's
more than
down.
anybody.
Twitter's
Oh.
down. Really?
Yeah. DMs are
Yeah.
not working. I can't refresh. Twitter's
Oh,
down.
yeah, they're down. Yep.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, no,
great.
but I had like a whole. Hold on.
Oh, Jesus, Chad.
What? Oh my
Former
god.
WWE Jillian Hall. She's probably like 80 right now.
I liked her. I did.
Thunder still suck. Up there we go. Danny and Arku getting at it again.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. But for Utah, buy out Russell Westbrook.
Yes.
So who's gonna pick him? I wonder who's gonna pick him up if that actually happens.
We'll go to a veteran team that's going to be ready to win a championship. Put him over there with another team that is maybe lacking a six man or could use a six man. Maybe in the Western Conference, he might go right back to the West. He could join Memphis as a six man. He could end up maybe going join the Nuggets as a six man. He's definitely going to a team that is looking for like some offensive punch off the bench. So Westbrook will probably go to one of the top teams, whichever team he believes has the best chance to win a championship. So we'll have to wait and see what's going to happen either way.
Yeah. It's just
No,
new.
he's not going to OKC. He's not going to OKC.
Why would
They're
you
not-
go
they're-
back?
If they're
Why
winning
would
a
they get him back?
championship, yes. He's not winning a championship with the Oklahoma City Thunder. He's going to go somewhere where he knows he can win it all.
Yep. So I'm just scrolling through here. The Bulls and Warriors have some interest in Cam Reddish.
It just seems like a foregone conclusion that Cam
Coach,
Reddish
how do
is
you feel
gonna
about
be changed.
that? Cam Reddish to the Bulls or Warriors?
Well, we talked about it last night on the Heart of the City. It just sounds like that the Knicks are going to try to trade away Reddish any way they can because they're not playing him. He doesn't seem to be a player that Tom Thibodeau is in favor of because he doesn't give a whole lot on the offensive end. He's a good defender, long arms, good wingspan, but it just seems like that Thibodeau doesn't believe in him as a player to use off the bench. So the best thing for the Knicks to do, trade him away to a team that could use him, and maybe you can get unprotected or like a protected first-round pick, maybe a second-round pick.
I think
for
he's a
Reddish. Maybe you
second.
can
I
get
wouldn't
another-
give up a
Yeah,
first
well,
to him.
you could try it first, and if you can't get a second-round pick, and maybe you can get a swap for another young player too that's maybe not getting enough playing time as well.
Yeah, he was. There were some rumors a while back that the Sixers are somehow interested in
Here's Randy.
in Cam Reddish, and all of us are saying no.
Hey,
to Cam
Randy.
Reddish. So, Randy, your team and Jeff's team, man. Oh, he's muted.
I think he's setting up his stuff at the moment.
Oh, he's good. He's good. But yeah. So, oh my God, they're going at
No,
it.
he's talking about he's talking
Westbrook?
about Westbrook to Oklahoma City. He thinks that could happen. I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah.
He's saying Van Vliet to the Clippers. Maybe.
I would like that.
The Raptors are so weird because I don't know what they're going to do. They are such the Raptors are the team that can make or break this deadline because it sounds like they're going to just dealing with something. I got an order at the door. Hold up. I got to show y'all. Take your
All
time, Randy.
Take your time, man.
Do your thing, bro. Unfortunately,
Can't wait
it's
to
a
see
great
what that
order.
is.
yeah, throw out your hot take, Blaze.
I
Unfortunately,
think I know where Blaze is going with this. I think I know.
Yeah, I
But
think I do too. Unfortunately, due to the head coach, it's best if he goes. I think it's a mistake. The person to go should be Tibbs. Yeah, well, Coach, Coach is a lifelong Knick fan. If you didn't know that, and he's never been a fan of Tom Thibodeau. I think the best thing for them to do is to trade away Randall with his stock being so high.
I'll show you the link. Oh wait,
not gonna do it.
Twitter's down.
Yeah, Twitter's
Wait.
down right now, so we can't.
Yeah, Twitter's down.
Yeah, twit.
I mean, I can put it in the chat, and if
Awesomeness,
you
what's up?
want to, oh God. But yeah, if you want me to put it in the chat, Blaze, I can do that. Yeah. So I kind of want to know.
Muscala at OKC's. Danny, now you're being ridiculous, Danny. He is not their best player. He's a decent player, but he's not their best
I
player.
liked Muscala for a
I mean,
bit.
he's not better. He's not their best player. Their best player is
Oh, no.
SGA, and it's not even. It's
SGA by
not even
far.
close.
I know.
Well, Giddy's
I
not
know,
bad
it's
too.
Crazy. It's crazy. Oh wait, is Twitter back? Oh no, I'm getting that DM icon. The
Man, it's
hell?
probably gonna take a little while for Twitter to come back to life.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put the link in the chat.
Twitter
Guys-
doing Twitter things.
Guys, the link is just for Blaze Radio, and if Coach wants to pop on.
Mm-hmm.
If Coach wants to pop on, or Blaze Radio, there's the link. I would give him the DMs with Twitter down. So,
But
Where would you see Westbrook fitting in? Who has the money to get him? What team right now could win the championship? Where could Westbrook
no one can
go?
win a championship with Westbrook. I'm keeping it up.
I'm just going off with what Jeff
No.
said. You know, he wants to go to a team that he'll
No.
know that he'll win.
No.
just don't, please, God, don't go to Boston. Don't go
That's
to
what
Boston.
I was thinking.
No,
I
they
don't
already
think
have
it's good.
Brogdon.
I
They
don't
don't
think it'll
need
happen.
him.
They don't
They
need
don't,
him.
they already have Brogdon. They don't need another point
Right.
guard. Maybe the Bucks. Bucks can use him as a sixth man. You got the Bucks. You got the Sixers. Maybe the Sixers pick him up. Maybe we pick him up for some
How would
stupid
that be
reason.
possible? The Sixers don't have the money.
he's not going to command a lot. He might command a very minimal amount of money because of the fact that he's going to want to win a championship. So he'll probably just take whatever team could use his skill set off the bench as an, like, a 15, 20 minute, 15, 17 point score off the bench. So Blaze, what's up, bro?
Here's
I'm
the
gonna fix
thought.
my audio real quick. So
The thought is, if he decides to mature, next place he goes similar to Dwight Howard in that bubble run, he could be a role player in a championship team.
Mm-hmm.
It's possible.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could definitely see that.
The only team I can honestly think, the Bulls.
Yeah, but are they ready made to win a championship though?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
They're not ready to win it, but it's like that's the only team I can come up with.
He hasn't won a championship, right?
Who?
Westbrook's never won a championship, right?
He was in the finals with the Thunder against Heat. That was the only time with KD
you
and
guys hear me
Harden.
okay?
Yes.
Is there echo or anything? I don't want to have echo or nothing for you guys.
No,
No,
Randy,
you're
you
perfectly
there?
fine.
No, he's not even back yet. You're fine.
All right, so I got a hot take on this LeBron stuff.
Let's
Go
hear
for
it.
it.
First off, I got to start with saying he's awesome. He's incredible. He's one of the best ever to play the game. It's a record that I never thought would be broken.
Mhm.
I was born in 73, so I was 11 years old when Jabbar broke it in 1984. The only difference is Kareem won that basketball game. They won by 15.
Yeah.
So watching that game last night really closely, I know it was all about LeBron, and I would feel better about it if in the post game interview he would have said, "I really wish we'd have won the game," but never mentioned it. It was always about him.
It's all
Hey
about
Blaze, I
value.
want to jump on that really quick and say, did you see how Anthony Davis reacted when that shot went up? He was sitting down. He was
Yeah.
not
We're
happy.
actually talking about that right now on ESPN.
Yeah,
about
on
him.
ESPN, yeah. I guess him and also Russell Westbrook. Wow, that was a mouthful. Had something to say apparently in the dressing room afterwards. Him and Davis didn't really appreciate that the game ended in an L.
It's a team game, and I mean to focus only on. I mean, I've been brought up to never focus on individual stats and stuff. If it was going to happen regardless this year,
Absolutely.
it seemed like
Yeah.
he was forcing it.
It just
I don't
seemed
know.
like it was more about him than it was actually about the team's accomplishments, which is
Lakers
you
needed
can't
to
go
win
that
that
route.
game. They needed that game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it
So I
just
didn't know
seems like
how
that
you
nothing
guys
else
thought
mattered.
about that.
I agree with you, Blaze. I think it was just too much about him in that whole spectrum. I mean, it's an amazing accomplishment. Nobody, I thought, would ever have a shot at beating Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's scoring record. I mean, it's an amazing feat by LeBron James, but at the same time, I mean, talk about the fact that your team didn't win it. Your team's struggling right now to try to get into the playoffs. I mean, you have the rest of your team that's unhappy. At the same time, like, it just feels like it's a me type deal. But, you're not really giving credit to – you're not giving the fact that your rest of your teammates are just, not happy about the losing that game. And you heard about the rumors that happened with Westbrook and the head coach about them going at it after the game. So it's like the
Darvin Ham.
Lakers. Yeah, the Lakers are a mess right now.
I'm not a LeBron hater at all either. It just
Me
stuck
neither.
out to me last night that he didn't even mention that. Normally, a player after the game would be like, you know what? It's about winning the game. We should have won the game. Yes, it's something I wanted to do, but we should have won the game. It was only a 3-point game at the end.
Yep.
No, you're not wrong at all.
Did
You're
you
not wrong
guys
at all.
hear
I'd be upset with the
LeBron
rest
say
of the
the
teams.
F-bomb? Did you guys hear
Yeah.
LeBron say
Yeah,
the F-bomb?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
thought that was unnecessary.
hold on.
Yeah.
I clipped it.
What's going on, Faction Cast Podcast?
Fuck yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
uncalled for. He didn't need to do that.
I agree.
It's emotion, and it's today. I don't want to sound like Grandpa get off my lawn type of kid, though. But
No,
just the wrong
I
way.
I watched it live last night, Blaze, and I was like counting it down, and my wife was sitting there on her laptop watching her shows, and it was so funny because I was like, oh, it's 6 more points, and I'm like, oh, 2
Yeah.
more points, and then as soon as he got it, I looked at her and like, fuck, I'm done. And she's like, oh, I thought you were watching because you're so happy.
When-
She's like, I thought you were
when
watching because you're so
Lakers
happy.
shot
I was like,
the ball,
no, I'm just pissed.
Yeah.
That was like, oh, every time someone else shot the ball.
Yeah.
Well, the problem is now, too, everybody's going to go out and pretty much say now that LeBron James is the greatest basketball
Oh,
player
God.
ever. He has a scoring record, and he has all these records. Is that
Well, that's
really
what they're talking
narrow
about right now on
assessment.
PTI. PTI said everybody needs to shut up. LeBron is the greatest ever. He holds the most points, assists, rebounds, and it's just like, shut up, okay? He's not 6 for 6, okay? Get out.
I never compare different eras.
Mm-hmm.
The game has changed drastically from the 80s and 90s.
Yes.
Russell, Chamberlain, Jabbar, Jordan, LeBron. You can intermingle that whole top 5. They're the greatest.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is no GOAT for me because all time isn't over. Who knows who's coming next? There's no
Exactly.
GOAT.
You know what I was watching? I was watching this video where they were picking a couple guys who could break the record, that could pick it.
Well, it's Steph.
Anthony Edwards was one of them. Luka
I don't
was the
know.
other.
Maybe.
Trae Young.
Well,
See,
they
the
said
one thing about that whole situation, too, is because the one thing I'll give LeBron James credit, he stayed healthy. And a lot
That's
of
the
these NBA
main
players
point.
can't
That was
stay
the main
healthy.
point. You gotta
A lot
do
of
it
these guys
quick
can't stay
and
healthy over their
healthy.
career.
Who plays
that-
They
for
said
20-some
today-
years anymore? That's incredible how long he's played.
they
that
said
well.
today, they said you
And stay
would have to
healthy.
average 34 points and stay healthy for 20 seasons to beat his record.
Yeah.
And he's
And
not
who
done.
even
He's
knows
going to
how
play
much-
for a couple more years until Bronny comes up.
Exactly. And that's
He's just gonna
and that's what
pound
they were
those
talking
stats.
about on the show last night. Like Shaq and them, they're like, homeboy could put up another 8K more points on that record, and then that record's definitely going to be untouchable.
He's
Yeah,
going for 40K.
A
He's
couple
going.
years
It's
ago,
clear as day. He's
got
going
to
for
meet.
40.
I got to meet Bronny. He came to my area to play summer ball. And
Oh, cool.
real humble kid. He had like 30 girls around him too. It was crazy. Real
Of
humble kid.
course.
And I thought, this kid's already got his head on straight. I kind of felt bad for him last night. They didn't seem that. I would have went nuts if my dad was breaking records like that.
Yeah.
Right?
They were just.
You know what
they
was
got-
funny?
Go
When they were in the locker room, and I have the video, LeBron was like, which one of you guys are going to break my record next? Talking to his sons. And they were like, oh, we're
Wow.
going to be 2 and 3.
Where's Bronny going to go to college? That's the first question. He can go anywhere.
My guess, Ohio
True.
State. Ohio State.
That's
Probably
yeah.
probably go to Ohio State for a year and then come out in that following draft.
Please don't.
They
Please
could
don't
use
go to
it.
Ohio
Since-
State.
Since
Please.
Ohio State been fighting for a national championship, that'd be good for their squad.
Not for me. Damn
I
it.
don't think. Well, I'm a
He's a
Kentucky
Michigan
fan.
fan.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about Kyrie Irving right now. I really don't.
Oh, I didn't even bring it up.
I don't
like
want to
Still
talk about
salty.
Kyrie Irving. I'm not salty. I just don't want to talk about it because it's just frustrating. I don't want to talk about drama, any of that BS.
What
Let's
up,
talk about
Francis?
basketball.
Yes, what
have
up?
all these
Then be
stars.
happy,
They
he's
lost
gone.
to the Thunder last night during that.
Exactly.
It would've been so much better
Thank
if they won.
you. Then that's all they cared about last night. The Lakers are all celebrating. Everybody's celebrating LeBron James. You lost to the Thunder. You're 13th in the Western Conference. You're not going anywhere. Your team sucks. At least the Nets, who are a disaster in a way too, they're still somewhat relevant in the East. The Western Conference, the Lakers, where are they right now?
You just need Gary Trent Jr. That's all. You'll be fine.
Yeah, great. Yeah, great.
Oh,
Gary
Gary
Trent Jr.
Trent.
will
Isn't
save
he
our-
involved in a trade package right now or something? Like, I've been seeing that all over. But how do you
Who?
guys feel? I got to what? Oh, I thought someone said something. Randy and Jeff, I got to see this about that trade going around. Claxton, Pascal.
I'm not doing it. I've thought about it the entire day. I'm not doing it. I'm not just going to do these types of trades to appease Kevin Durant. I'm not trading away my future like we've done not once but twice in the past for trying to get a championship that failed twice. I'm not going to go 3 times as the charm. I like Pascal Siakam. I like OG Anunoby. But I'm not once again sacrificing some young, good players that are coming into their own, that are under good team control, just for the sake of appeasing to Kevin Durant and going out there and trying to win an NBA championship. I'm not doing it. If it's going to take giving
Yeah.
up Claxton and God forbid Cam Thomas, I refuse to do it.
Can't
I don't
give
care
up
what
Cam
fans
Thomas.
say.
He's the hottest thing
Well,
right now.
financial wise, you're gonna have to give up Ben Simmons, and I do not want that fucking headache, so I'm good.
You
Jeff
can have
is
him.
like,
Don't
please,
talk about
you can have
Kyrie,
him.
but
please.
what do you guys think about Kyrie and Luka playing together?
I don't
Some of
think it's
their
gonna
game is
work.
similar.
Oh, man.
I don't think it's going to work, Blaze. I think it's going to blow
Luka
up in
like
their
bringing
face.
the ball up.
Yeah, they're both ball dominant guards.
Exactly.
And both of them love to shoot. I don't think it's going to work. And defensively, they're not good either. It's going to
If
be
they
a
do click,
lot.
that's two
Luka wanted
crazy
him, though.
weapons.
That's the
though.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Luka wanted him.
both of them will score at least, they can score 25, 30, 35 points any night. It's just defensively they're weaker. They lost some of their depth. And at the same time, I mean, are they going to be able to both – is Kyrie going to be able to be that second guy to Luka? Because it's Luka's team. He's the number one star. Yeah. Is Kyrie going to be able to deal with that until he
I think Luka might have to take a step back because we've never seen him how good he was off ball. We've never seen it.
Kyrie's got to take the step back. It's Luka's team.
And look how much Luka uses the ball. He runs the sucker down to almost 5 or 6 seconds, and then he decides, okay, either shot or I'm kicking it out. So it's Kyrie's not going to like that. He's going to want some handle time as well. So I doubt that's going to work out.
Besides with LeBron, I mean, Kyrie, is he going to be? Back in the day, is he going to be able? He might be that James Harden type thing. Get to the finals, get to the playoffs, and then fall apart.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I think that's exactly what Harden's going to do.
Does Dallas need more front court, big men?
Why are you
For
doing
your
this?
information, it's only 4. It's only 4.
Harden type figure where he gets on teams. He's already done it several times.
I don't think Dallas is even coming out of the West. I don't think they are. There's teams that are better than them.
I got Denver. I got Denver or Memphis.
I like
and my
that.
dark horse is Sacramento.
I don't
Denver,
know
Memphis, dark horse, Sacramento.
I'm a Pittsburgh Philly Sixers fan for what it's worth.
Yeah. Hey, what up, Pokey?
Dr. J jersey and my Eagles helmet, though. I'm rocking with you guys.
There you go.
I think I'd probably say a sleeper could be the Clippers. I don't know why. I just think the Clippers. This might finally be the year they can put it together.
I really think they're frauds.
I think there's other teams that are bigger frauds than the Clippers. I don't know. I just think that they might be able to put it together. If Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can stay together and stay healthy, they got some good players around them. So, and they might make another trade to help out their depth on the roster. So, I mean,
and of course, Twitter's down during trade deadline.
Well, yeah, you knew it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Got to go to NBA.com now.
Yeah, I said the Clippers, Arku. I did. I threw out the Clippers. Eventually, one of these years, they're going to catch up. Dante, what's up, Coach?
What up, Coach? If you want to pop in, too, and talk basketball, let me know.
Clippers, like the Chargers, they both need to go back to San Diego.
Oh, my God, yes, they do.
It just makes more sense.
The Chargers, God, please send them back to San Diego. They're just not working over there in Los Angeles. They feel like the redheaded stepchild in that stadium with the Rams.
Mm-hmm. You guys know when expansion in the NBA is coming? I know they got expansion coming up. Seattle, Las Vegas, and stuff like that.
You think they're going to put a team in Las Vegas?
Raiders. I mean, the Raiders are doing. They're doing okay. They're making money, win or lose.
That is true.
It's a big market. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised Seattle and Las Vegas get it, but.
By the way, Blazed, this is our buddy Coach Ed. He's a big Knicks fan, and he always is slamming his team all the time, saying that they're biggest frauds.
Twitter's back.
That's real. That's being real. I dig that.
Yeah. Oh, he's not been he does not like the coach on the team either. He's been very, very critical of Tom Thibodeau. And
Twitter's back, but not the
he
DM.
wants him off he wants him out of there.
Yeah. Shit, I remember Bernard King and the old Knicks of Patrick Ewing and them back in the days when they were rugged.
Willis Reed and Walt Clyde Frazier. Was it Dave DeBusschere too?
Knicks fans waited a long time for them to come back to prominence.
The New York City, and they were for 20 plus years. 20 plus years. And they revel more into my team's disaster than they revel in their own team's success. That's how the Nets have been.
Woj just tweeted, he was like, a 3-team trade is largely hinging on how Minnesota values D'Angelo Russell and potential deal. And their return of draft assets, Lakers and Jazz have significant deal structure in place. But Minnesota has been engaged elsewhere on Russell too.
Would you trade him though? He's still 26.
Because they can get value, I guess.
You guys
Maybe it's not working out with him and Edwards. Maybe it's not working out with him and Edwards.
What's
Do we
up,
have
Blaze?
a big trade deadline or a dead trade deadline? Just a couple where you guys think a lot.
We're going to be live all day tomorrow. You can join us. We're going to be live.
I don't know. I really don't know. I think you know what's going to count a lot on? Randy's team, the Raptors. I think they're the team right now that it really is the holding pattern in this entire trade deadline. If the Raptors don't do that much, I think this could be a very quiet trade deadline. But the Raptors, they have a lot of players that teams want. Van Vliet, Anunoby, Trent Jr., Siakam even have been rumored out there. There's a lot of guys on that Raptors team that could be potentially traded. So if the Raptors are going to be active, I think we're going to have ourselves a pretty active trade deadline. If not, then it might be a lot more quiet than it was last year. Because last year was pretty active towards the end.
Yeah, that's when we traded Ben Simmons for Harden.
Yeah, it was great. I'm telling you right now, you're laughing now. Just wait until the playoffs. Harden.
I know. Wait for the playoffs, but right now.
He's going to crush your hopes.
I can't hate that trade.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't like the trade, but at the same time,
I don't have him up that high playoff.
I don't hate it as much because I didn't want Harden here either. Because Harden failed me already. So
Yeah, but here's the difference, though. Harden now has trade value. Ben Simmons has none.
I hope James Harden proves me wrong in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, me too. Me
Make
too.
a good run. I really do. That's the way I'm at with it.
Do you think, guys, right now that you could beat Boston in a 7-game series?
No.
Right this moment.
No.
Home court advantage. Who has that? Boston?
Boston.
Yeah, Boston's the number one
I
seed
think
right
that
now.
might make a big
I don't
difference.
think we can beat Boston. I don't think Milwaukee is kind of sketch with whatever's going on with Chris Middleton.
Is he still hurt?
I have no clue, honestly.
Well, they play each other tonight. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we played the Celtics tonight. I'm going live for it.
Hokie for Life's going to root for the 76ers if you had to pick a team.
Hey, I'll take it. We
But
need everything before we can get. And by the way, you need to know one thing. Fire Doc Rivers. Those are the only 3 words you need to know.
Only Mitch should be the one to say fire Doc Rivers when his team is third place.
You really think he's that bad, Mitch? You really think
I
that?
don't.
Do you
I
I'm
blame
talking
him?
about playoff-wise, not regular season. I'm
Okay.
talking playoff-wise.
He's
It's a
waiting
new
for
year. Give him some hope this year. I'll give James Harden hope if you give Doc Rivers hope. Deal?
That's not happening. It's not happening, Blaze. It's not happening. You can
Come on,
try
Mitch.
so
Do it.
hard.
Come on, Mitch.
You can try so hard to put that into his head. He's never going to say Doc Rivers is a great coach. I have faith
This
in
is
Doc
what I
to get to the
said.
postseason.
He's not.
No, this is what I said. You ready? If we win the championship and we're on parade, I will go on Broad Street and go, everyone fire this man.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, he's
I'll
going
be
to
like, no title for you.
Now, do the Sixers have anybody they're looking to move to try to improve or anything?
I heard
Dybul.
Korkmaz wants to be traded
Korkmaz
too.
requested a trade. That
Yeah,
is great.
Korkmaz wants to be
But
traded.
Dybul for Andre Drummond. That's a potential deal right now.
How's
I'll
Drummond
take-
doing this year with the Bulls?
He's averaging a double-double. I think he's averaging like 15 and 15
I'm
or
not mad
something
at
like
that.
that.
Biggest fear is Embiid getting hurt or getting injured or even bumped
That's why I
up.
want Drummond instead of
Exactly.
Monte.
Drummond would be a nice fill-in.
Yeah, that would be a good pickup for you guys. A guy that can just come in and
We
it
had
won't,
him.
you won't miss a huge beat with Embiid out.
No, we had him, then we gave him to you,
You traded him to us,
and then you
Drummond
gave
was-
him away.
because he
Andre
wasn't
Drummond.
that great. Drummond wasn't that great. The best player out of that trade was Seth Curry when he's healthy. Seth Curry's been the best player out of that trade we made last year. He just been hurt a lot this year too. So Simmons, please, and Drummond, he's okay.
I feel
Not
bad
great.
for Ben Simmons. I know. I really feel bad for him.
I don't.
Why?
Why?
He never filled out for his potential. He
Yeah.
he never did what he was supposed to do. I mean, I'm not saying I like him or I'm supporting him. I just feel bad.
Wait,
for
did you
someone
see my
coming out-
reaction video once he got
Never
traded?
worked on it.
I threw
Yeah.
his shirt in the recycling bin, and I was like, "Wait, this is not recyclable." I took it out and threw it in the
Why did you
trash.
even buy his shirt?
I did it like what? His second year. His second year.
I'm sure
Good
that
point,
if the
Coach.
76ers win, the Miami Heat are healthy, they can beat Miami, and Miami could be a scary team
Miami's
if they are
scary.
healthy. And I agree.
Miami
The
is
Heat are that
scary.
tricky team. The Heat are that tricky team in the East. You
They're
got to be
team to
careful.
elevate in the playoffs. They elevate in the playoffs.
though. Yeah. What about the Cavs? What do you guys think about the Cleveland Cavaliers this year? They're another one of those young teams that's
Very
really
young.
putting it together. And they're
Super
good too.
talented, but very young.
hmm To me, them like the Kings are those two young teams that are lurking in the back that could maybe, if they put it all together, could really be a surprise team heading into the playoffs. But I think they're maybe a year or two away from really making some noise. The Cavs have a lot of good young talent on that roster.
Well,
Starting with obviously their backcourt.
The history of the NBA goes way back to where you need to get a couple good years in the playoffs before you actually get to that very top level. That's been all the way back to Detroit and Chicago and LA and Boston back in the day. You hardly ever see a team that didn't make the playoffs the last 3 or 4 years all of a sudden make the finals.
Exactly.
I'm not saying it couldn't happen, but yeah, if the Cavs get a couple decent runs, couple series wins in the playoffs, I could see them doing some damage in the future.
And the NBA is the type of league where it really is a very superstar-driven league. And when you have the top players in the NBA, those are usually the teams on normal stance that make it towards the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, or the finals. You don't really have a lot of those surprise teams that come out of nowhere in the NBA compared to, like, the NFL or even, like, the NHL and baseball. The NBA is mostly driven on top stars, top overall teams, making it all the way to the finals. So I don't know if anybody in the East could beat Boston right now. I still think that the team that's going through Boston in the East.
Speaking of Boston, they're interested in Mo Bamba.
That would be a good oh my God, that'd be a good move for them.
Playoffs are a completely different season, in my opinion. Everybody during the year, they're looking for longevity. They're taking breaks. They want to get through the season healthy. And then in the playoffs, everyone tries to elevate their game and really play their best. It's like 2 different seasons.
Yeah. And a lot of those teams that are seasoned.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Cool.
A lot of those teams that are seasoned too, that have been together, have come through the organization at the same time, like Golden State or even like Boston. They're the ones that are the scariest teams heading into the playoffs because they have that chemistry. Look at Boston's a lot of young, good players. A lot of good players on that team. Obviously, starting with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. And I mean, you got all these other supplemental players they've been bringing in through trade or even through the draft. Golden State too. Golden State is so fascinating, and they're another team you can't just push to the side and not think that they could still go on a run because they still got Clay, Steph, and Draymond, and they have a lot of those guys still.
If you're the GOAT, why didn't you win last night, LeBron?
No, you can't go with the GOAT stuff. There's still a lot of other players you could say generation. It's a generational type league.
Like I said, I don't compare eras. Not in football, basketball, nothing. Everyone has their favorites. It's a big. You name those top 5, they're the greatest.
It's different too. It's a different league. You just don't know. The rule changes. You don't know if like the style of play. Let's see how LeBron James would have played if he was playing in the 90s. We don't know.
Same thing with football. Rules have changed. People were stronger, faster, all that stuff nowadays. I don't like comparing. I just who's the best now, who's the best in the 80s. I'll do that argument, but
it's always out there all the time. Everybody loves comparisons, like who's better than this, who's better than that, etc.
Especially like you said, now that he's a scoring champ, they're going to say he's the greatest of all time, and I can't disagree to people that say that. Who else has done it? Who else has done it that consistently for 20-some years? Not too many.
Some people might even say he might be going for the all-time assist league. He might be going for the all-time assist record.
That's what impresses me more about him.
Yeah.
He's top 5 in all-time assists.
He's a pass first. He's a pass first guy.
He is.
I miss the dunks of LeBron back, and he can still do it, but I also wish I'm a big slam dunk competition fan since day one. Until Ja Morant and until we get those guys in the dunk competition, it's not going to be as good as it used to be. Give me 8 guys again like the old days. Give me Ja. Give me the big guys that know how to dunk the names again. Give them a couple million to win or something. Where's the sponsors? That's what it's about. If you offer someone $5 million to win the dunk competition, they're coming out the woodwork.
Yep.
Give me some Carter dunk.
Oh my God, Vince Carter to me was still one of the greatest of all time in the dunk
greatest
contest.
in-game dunker of all time, Carter, along with Sean Kemp.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
and LeBron.
Randy, apparently Eric
Gordon Sean Kemp was underrated, Blaze, with that. You're right. He would fucking destroy the rim, and just get up. People. Like he could just hop. Like he had hops. Like.
Yeah.
By the way, just some quick football news. Ron Rivera is undecided if he wants to pick up the 5th-year option on Chase Young. So they're deciding if they should pick up that 5th-year option on Chase Young because he's been hurt for 2 years.
I just saw Beantown breakdown.
Yeah, he's going to be on the
Sam Howell. He's uncertain if you want Sam Howell as the quarterback.
That's good. It deserves a laugh track.
So,
that does.
Randy, apparently the Raptors, Celtics, and the Heat are interested in Eric Gordon.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't want
Not a
that
bad
old
move.
guy. We don't need him.
How old is Eric Gordon?
What,
I
30,
think he's 34, is he not?
34?
He is.
That's one thing in the
34,
NBA,
yeah.
though. You can be terrible on one team, and if you go to the right system,
What up, Mac?
you can be completely different. Like if you're traded to the right team, the right system, the right idea, it could be completely different. I think that's what they were trying to do with Ben Simmons and failed. Get him in a different system. Maybe he can just be a playmaker. But God, I feel
Ben
bad
Simmons
for him.
needs to be in a system that doesn't involve him playing any type of offensive game in terms of shooting. He's got to have other guys that can pick up the offense.
So the Warriors.
Yeah.
I got a sound effect for him. Too.
I will
Here's
say
his
though,
sound effect.
I don't know Eric Gordon's defense. I don't know how good he is defense-wise, but that's what our team predicates himself on. Our team predicates themselves on working harder on the defense and then getting your fun off on the offense.
Defense wins championships
Mm-hmm.
in any sport.
Yes, sir.
That's why Boston is always so damn good. They got a great defensive team. That's the scariest team in the NBA because of their defense. OKC is the right system. It's a small market. Simmons will screw it up over there. Do you really want Ben Simmons in Oklahoma City with the young talent you have?
Yo, don't even
Keep trading him. Let's trade Ben Simmons like 30 times until he finds the right team.
Finally get him to the right system, the right team, the right area. I don't know. Well, I don't know what happened to that guy.
It's like,
I don't know what
no, you
happened to
take
him.
him. No, you. No, you. Tomorrow at the trade deadline, it will be all about Ben Simmons.
I would love to get rid of. I would love to trade him, but he's got no value. Nobody wants him. He's got nothing.
He can't shoot. All he does is assist and pass the ball around.
Defense.
He's a horrible free on the goddamn paint. He's horrible on his 3 shots. He can't do anything but pass the ball. That's Ben Simmons. And then he fights and gets pissy when people call him out for those mistakes.
Should
Yeah, he
just
can
go
be a
out
little-
there and prove him wrong.
He can be a little bitch not to mince words.
Yeah. That's the common theme with the Nets, though. They bringing in these guys that have issues dealing with the media. Kevin Durant is another one of them too. They all
Pro
get
athletes all have egos. It's just how big is their ego.
the
That's
generation
another thing.
generation
He's
now.
horrible at
Twitter.
defense. What good is his defense? He can't.
No, Ben Simmons is actually a pretty decent defensive player.
Yeah, he's
pretty
got good
solid.
defense.
No.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what Ben Simmons said a while ago. I'm not going to be the same player I was a few years ago. That's going to take some time to get back.
It's not that he's not talented. It's just
He doesn't try. He doesn't care. Hey, look, Randy, he's your favorite player.
Gary Trent is here.
Hey, Gary Trent, are you going to still be a Raptor after tomorrow?
Gary the Snail was here.
Gary,
Gary, is tonight your last game? Gary, tonight your last game in a Raptors uniform versus the Spurs?
Simmons is as useful
I'm
as
hearing a lot. I'm hearing a lot of,
impact.
which is kind of funny, but I'm hearing a lot of chatter that Gary, which I would not do this. I don't know why they would, because you're trading an offensive player for somebody that's handcuffed offensively, but we need a big desperately. But I'm hearing Gary Trent Jr. and a pick for Jakob Poeltl, and I'm like, no, I don't want Poeltl. I'm not trading Trent and a pick for Poeltl. Fuck that.
I don't get the fascination with Jakob Poeltl. I don't know why people are going nuts
it's because
about this guy.
Jakob Poeltl and Pascal Siakam had a strong chemistry back in the day when they were playing together and they came up.
Okay.
It's a fun name to say.
And I'm thinking
That's why I
Siakam is
call
probably
Poeltl
the one that
Poeltl.
wants
Poeltl the
Poeltl. That's
turtle.
what I'm thinking.
Wait, do you guys ever see Master of Disguise? You know, when they go
Yes.
turtle?
Yes.
That's why I go Poeltl.
Dana Carvey, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Poeltl.
I feel really old because when people say Gary Trent, I think of his dad.
That's true.
When he was with the
Right.
Blazers, I was still watching back in the day.
I forgot all about Gary Trent Sr.
Blades, it was funny. They interviewed his dad after the Raptors and the Bucks had a kind of a skirt couple, and Gary Trent grabbed what's his name, Brooke Lopez, and they asked his dad, they're like, if the shoes were reversed, what would happen? He's like, well, my son has definitely shown he has way more composure because he's like, I would have let the hands fly.
That's like you see these players coming up to LeBron and be like, hey, you played with my dad.
Yeah.
Right?
Like, that's surreal, man. That's
That is-
crazy.
That's his first game.
That's when you know you get old. When you
LeBron
hear
playing
players say
that long is just amazing. That's why he is one of the greatest. To be that consistent for that many years, I don't think we'll ever see that again.
And healthy too. I mean, not a lot of players play all
Right.
these games all the time.
This is
Everybody
con-
always
it-
gets hurt.
It's his conditioning. He lives through.
True.
And I think that's what he's doing with his kids too, because normal kids would be so excited to see their dad do that last night, and they're just like, I think they're already conditioned to be in that world that LeBron raised.
That mindset too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, isn't it true? Doesn't he spend like $3 million or something on the off season for his body for like keeping shape?
Yeah, the way he eats, the way he works out, that's the whole reason why he's still playing at this level, and it's amazing.
So, like
and then look at the reports at the beginning of the season when Luka came in. Luka came in like way overweight and stuff. So like I understand people are saying, oh, Luka might get there and stuff, but it's like until he treats this game seriously, I don't see it.
Hey Randy, it kind of reminds you of a certain quarterback that used to play in the NFL.
Oh, look, now we got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're getting big time here.
Randy's about to get mad. I'm sorry, Randy.
I'm waiting for Ben Simmons to show up in the
chat. For the Thunder rebuild. If they're contenders a few years from now, Shea will be the face of the team.
Who?
For sure.
Thunder?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Arku will become a Lakers fan if you do that to him. Or a Mavericks fan solely if Shea Gilgeous-Alexander gets traded.
Do you guys think Memphis has enough to make a run in the playoffs this year?
If Jaren Jackson continues to play like this and John Morant, maybe they can make some damage.
What did they do last year in the playoffs? I don't remember. You guys remember?
I feel like Dylan Brooks is their Achilles heel, though.
The real one.
I mean, that guy gets into
Arku, you're great.
That guy gets into so much trouble and like kind of like changes like the team's mojo on the court. Like, I mean, they'll be feeling themselves and he'll take stupid penalties or he'll do stupid shit, and then that throws the chemistry the other way, and the next thing you know, they're trying to defend more than they're trying to take that lead.
Good, great point.
So Blaze, I feel like they might be handcuffed because of him, but again, I say that, and they got John Morant and Jaren Jackson and Desmond.
And
they all
Bane
fall
too.
into that.
Desmond
They all
Bane's
fall into
good.
that mold and act too thuggish and shit instead of being professional at this point. And they have the talent.
Yeah,
like you said, one can bring them all down.
But Boston and Golden State have that same thing. Boston has got Marcus Smart, who does similar stuff to that, maybe not to the degree. And Draymond Green with Golden State. Both of those guys do it.
Ain't nothing wrong with having a rough player to put fear in your opponent, but when they're all acting that way, it can bring you down. And I'm a huge Ja fan. Beantown, you're right. He is getting annoying, and I love Ja Morant. I think he can be a superstar for a long time, but you got to have it up here too. You got to have the mindset.
So apparently, the Knicks want Josh Hart.
For who?
They're just interested.
Is that a good fit for the Knicks? Josh
You know
Hart?
why? Brunson.
Oh, that's right. They played as teammates before.
I'm telling you, Leon Rose is going to get every single player from Villanova and run that team back.
Good. They're not going to win.
Does Westbrook get traded by the deadline? Yes or no? What do you guys think?
Yes,
Who?
he does.
Yes.
Westbrook,
I say he gets traded and then he gets cut by the team that trades for him.
That's basically what's going to happen.
He's
with
going to
Utah.
get traded, he's going to get cut, and he's going to go to like a top team in the West.
Is he in his last year of his contract?
I think so, yes.
Oh.
So definitely trade him if that's the case. Get something.
At this point, you might as well, and see if you can get any type of
The
compensation. Maybe a
Celtics
second-round pick.
talking to the Nets about that's not going to happen. The Nets already shot it down. The Nets already shot down.
You willing to give up? You willing to give up Jaylen Brown? Because I'll take Jaylen Brown.
I don't think they'll do that.
Yeah, I'll take Jaylen Brown if you're willing to give up Kevin Durant.
Oh, that would be. Oh, there we go. That's what we need tomorrow. We need one of those. NBA execs, you watch it? Let's go.
We need one of those tomorrow at 10 a.m.
I actually would not be that disappointed about that trade because
I would not
Brown's
either.
Jaylen Brown's a good young player, a really good young player, and you could put his core around with him, Claxton, and
you know what I said
Cam
earlier?
Thomas.
You know what I said about Jaylen Brown? He's better than Devin Booker. I don't care what anyone says.
I agree. He is.
Jeff,
Better
what else,
than
what else do you know about Cam Thomas? I mean, he has, 3 40-point games in a row right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's unreal. Like, is he going to be a superstar, do you think?
I don't know. I think he's one of those explosive scorers. He's always been like that coming out of LSU. I just don't know if eventually when he gets more attention on him on the offensive side of the court, when teams start, doubling or tripling him, if he turns the ball over way too much as well. He's he lost the ball a bunch of times last night. He makes some ill-advised shots at times, but he is only 21 years old, so he's eventually going to grow out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And defensively,
His season average is
pass-wise,
10.4. So
yeah.
But like I said, sometimes you lose that piece, and he's falling right into place from them losing a player like Kyrie, and then he's like, step up. Someone's got to step up, and he is. That's incredible.
He's had these moments. It's not like he hasn't done it before. He's just never had an opportunity because of Kyrie in front of him, James Harden in front of him, all these other guys in front of him. But he's shown those moments of being an explosive playmaker. Now the Nets have to realize that, and if you're going to keep him on this team long term, get him out there and get him a lot of minutes because this kid can light it up.
Yeah. So I actually have a question for Nikki. Nikki, you said I saw your short. You said Julius Randle is underrated.
Yep.
Care to explain?
These past couple years with the Knicks, I mean, his first year there was good. This year he's playing good.
In LA, he was a role player. In here, he's an all-star now. So I'm a Randall fan. He's very awkward, different type of player. He can go inside and out, play with the bigs, shoot with the guards.
But do you think he should have been an all-star over Brunson?
That's debatable.
I
agree.
Brunson's the best player on that team. He should have been an all-star. He's been the difference on that Knicks team, why they're even in a playoff hunt right now. Barrett's the problem. RJ Barrett is the problem with that Knicks team.
Yes.
That guy as well is not consistent. He's not consistent. He's like a hybrid 2 or 3. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He's
He
sort
was
of like
supposed to be big.
positionless.
He didn't live up to his potential at all.
No, he's sort of like a hybrid 2 or 3. He's maybe not small enough or quick enough to be a guard.
Hold on. Andre Drummond still seems like the most realistic trade target for the Sixers.
All right,
please, we'll give you.
Well, boys, if you look at the logic based on the stats, Julius Randle averages 24.7, so 25 points a game, 10.9, which is basically 11 rebounds. And Brunson's averaging 23 points a game and 3.5 rebounds and 6.2 assists, but also 1 steal average. So he obviously got in based on offensive points and rebounds over Brunson's stats. So I could see that. I can see why Nikki put that video out.
Averaging
I can see it too. I was just questioning because a lot of people think, some Knicks fans have told me that they rather have Obi Toppin out there instead of Randle.
Yeah. They think Toppin's a better player. They think Toppin's got a lot of high upside, and they really believe that Randle's
got a lot of potential.
And Randle's value's never been higher right now.
Wait, we got a hunt.
True.
Yeah, see? This is what I told you, Jeff.
I'll take him. I will take Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown for KD. I am not opposed.
Either of them.
I am not opposed. I am not opposed to trading Kevin Durant. If I can get a great young player like that, bro.
I don't think they'll get rid of either one of them. They'd more be like number 1 picks and shit they'd have to give.
I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it unless Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum's coming back to Brooklyn.
Number 1 picks aren't guaranteed anymore, people.
Exactly.
They're
That
not.
is why. That is why.
Look
And
at the
plus,
last 5
remember-
years.
And Blaze, remember too, the Nets had those picks that would have drafted Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum that they traded away in that Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry, and Paul Pierce trade. Those were the Nets picks they traded for the Celtics to get those 2 players. So I don't want anything else except one of those guys if you want Durant. Otherwise, no deal.
Do you think Russell Westbrook should go to the Clippers?
No.
Oh, God.
I honestly think that
Kawhi
would
would lose his mind.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Kawhi
Kawhi
would not be
will,
able to
but I
handle
think
it.
Westbrook should go.
No.
I miss the
Not a
old
good
Westbrook.
team move.
I miss the old powerful Westbrook driving down the lane, dunking on people, running.
That was my
around.
favorite point guard in the league. I
I
had a
loved when
Westbrook
he
jersey
played
at
like
that
that.
time.
I don't know what the hell happened to him to turn into Westbrook out there, but
He's just
that's-
stat pen. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
He lost his explosiveness on the court to be able to do that, and he's had to turn
Averaging
himself into a
triple
shooter.
doubles is phenomenal. I mean, that
Okay,
doesn't
Bobby,
happen.
do you want me to go down the history of bad drafting for the Sixers?
Yeah,
Shoulda,
well,
coulda, woulda's changed a lot
Yeah.
of teams out there.
fuck all y'all's teams. None of y'all can rock with the best team in the NBA, the Pink Street Princesses. Coach.
I love you, Coach. God dang.
Woo.
Oh, Coach Ed.
Am I the only one? Does anybody else think that the Pelicans is a stupid name for an NBA team?
I think it is.
I
It's
can't
better
stand
than
it.
the Commanders.
Wait, what's worse?
Left
Blaze?
hander, Commander.
What's worse? Wait, what? Blaze, what's worse?
They're
The
not
Commanders, the Pelicans, or the Guardians? Rank them 1 to 3.
Go
Where's
Pelicans.
the
See,
best?
I can't like anything Cleveland, number one, being from Pittsburgh.
Nah.
But the Guardians kind of have a story behind why they're the Guardians.
Hey, forgot goodbye.
Pelicans is the worst. It's just
Fort-
who
Fort
fears a
please go.
Pelican?
Please go.
Who's
Please.
afraid of a Pelican?
Who's afraid of a
Put Game
commander?
of MB. Thank you. Yes.
Commanders
yes.
at least sounds like it should be intimidating, even though it isn't.
No.
The
I
Pelicans
just
is
love how we're talking about all these teams, and Arku just goes about the Thunder every single time.
Arku always is talking about the Thunder. He's
Yeah.
always talking about the Thunder. He's got that Thunder blood, but he's a Mavs fan too. I still don't get that.
Because
I don't
he's
know.
actually from Dallas, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Because
Then
he's a
he's-
fan of the Cowboys.
I
He's a
respect
fan
Arku's opinion. He's been around for
Yeah.
a good while here on YouTube. Since I started, I've seen him around. So I
Yeah.
respect his opinion.
Yeah,
But
I
is
do
he,
too.
is he a Thunder fan and he just doesn't mind the Mavs, or is he a Thunder and Mavs fan? Because it's hard to be a fan of both teams. You have to be a fan of one team and
Oh,
like
here comes
respect the
Daniel with
other.
the Thunder.
Thunder
suck now.
suck.
Yeah, there you go. Daniel
But they have a
and
better
Arku
name than the
going at it.
Pelicans. I'd rather
Yes,
play
they
for
do.
the Thunder.
Yeah,
That
it's a
sounds
better
intimidating.
name.
I missed it.
Arch-
Can we please
Arch
bring
makes a
back
good
the
point.
Seattle Supersonics?
Yes, I'm with you.
Oh, they're coming. They're coming back. They are bringing back the Seattle Supersonics.
They're
Definitely.
on the top of the list for expansion from what I've
Yeah.
read, and I'm down for that, please.
Yes.
They
Please
should
do
have
it.
never left Seattle in the first place.
Yeah. They're the ones that went to Oklahoma City, right?
Yes.
They
Correct.
they were in the dumps. They had to kind of leave, but I agree. I'd
Yeah.
love to see them come back.
I think they are. I think
Money-wise,
eventually
they
they
were
have the
in the
chance. Yeah, I think they're going to do
Bring
it.
back the
Yeah.
old uniforms too. Those were dope.
Please,
Those are one of my
yes.
favorite
Bring back the
uniforms.
old uniforms. Even have Sean Kemp and Gary Payton over there. You know, like bring it. Like it's there to introduce
The
or
glove,
reintroduce the
yeah.
franchise back. The
So-
glove and Kemp.
Little football news. It looks like the Cardinals are gonna hire a head coach after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and my guy Nimar says it could be the Giants' offensive coordinator Mike Kafka. Sounds like he might be the leading candidate.
Good luck, whoever's going to coach
Rain
Tyler.
Man, the glove. Bro, I miss that team so much.
Mm-hmm. Admit that was
Wait,
It was a really good underrated team back in the day.
Did you guys see the movie Like Mike? Remember when he was guarding Bow Wow? And he was like, now you know what it's like in the glove.
Bow Wow.
Oh, God.
Hey, that was my childhood.
So the top of the expansion list are Las Vegas, Mexico City, Baltimore, Seattle, New Jersey,
New
Pittsburgh.
Jersey.
Pittsburgh. It'll never happen, but I'd love it. London, Nashville, San Diego, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati, Louisville, Kansas City, and Jacksonville.
All right, we'll take out London and Mexico City.
Montreal.
Yeah.
too.
Don't do it. I don't
I
want
kind
a
of-
team right now in one of those cities at the moment.
What about the New Jersey or Baltimore?
New
that
Jersey
makes
would be
sense.
interesting.
Or in
They did lose.
Didn't at one time they have a team in Seattle?
Yeah, the Seattle
Supersonics.
Seattle Supersonics.
Supersonics.
Yeah.
And New Jersey had a team too, the Nets. But they went from New York back to Jersey, and then they went back to New York and Brooklyn. So
Those are realistic
Brooklyn.
locations.
Give them a couple miles.
yeah. Even if we
You
did
did
get
the
a team
San
back in
Diego
New Jersey,
Clippers
I'm still
before
being
they
a Brooklyn
moved.
Nets fan.
Hey,
Yes.
Gregor, what is up?
And
Hey,
San
Greg,
Diego's a huge port, so Clippers make sense. Like Utah Jazz, that makes no sense. But they were the New
No.
Orleans
Thank
Jazz
you, Bobby.
back in
San
the day, and
Diego
that
just
makes
a poor
sense.
sports town.
Exactly.
If you pick up a
It-
team
it-
and move, you don't have to keep the same name.
Yeah.
Make it mean
Exactly.
something.
Or Baltimore would be interesting too. Like, can you
Oh,
see
yeah.
a basketball team in Baltimore? I don't know.
I could see it.
I would like that. I would like Blaze said. I would love Pittsburgh, but it would never happen.
Yeah, it's a football city. They'll never
Yeah.
go football and hockey, and it's not going to be a basketball city. They had a CBA team back in the day. I actually worked for them in college. I did marketing for the Pittsburgh Piranhas. Now that's a badass name, but they just couldn't sell tickets.
Can we bring back the Washington Bullets?
I doubt it. With
I would love that. I miss
Yeah,
that a
no.
lot.
I like it, but I doubt it with like the Bullet name and
By the way, can we please put a team back in St. Louis for
That
football?
logo was so
Get a football
sick.
team back in St. Louis. I feel bad for those people. They had their football team taken from them.
It
NFL
looked like
expansion,
a-
that's another one.
What
Yeah.
was? Do y'all remember Mario 64? The bullets had the same logo as those things that would shoot at you with the arms. The bullet with the arm, and that thing was actually the logo of the bullets. I love that logo.
I miss those. I miss that the Bullets team in Washington. The Wizards. It just sounds so kiddie-like, so childish.
Pelicans is still worse, but I agree with you.
And the
Yeah.
Commanders.
The Salamanders.
Yeah,
They should have just called themselves the Senators.
true.
Well,
You know who
yeah,
else
that's
deserves
the
a
old
football
baseball
team back? Oakland. I know Oakland has never really been worth, wanted to pony up their money to keep their team, but God, losing
Derek
the Raiders
Carr
out of that
to the
city, that was
Saints,
rough.
it looks like. Derek Carr to the Saints. I don't understand that, but
Who
Wait.
goes to the Raiders? Is Rodgers going to go there? You guys think Rodgers? I know we're doing basketball, but
Possibly.
I
Well,
want
they have a
Rodgers to go to the
connection.
Niners.
Dennis Allen and Carr have a connection from when they're
so weird to
Allen's
think
for
of
the
him.
Raiders.
Think of him in a different uniform, though. It's so weird.
Yeah.
It's like Montana
what we
with the
said about
Chiefs
Brady.
uniform. Yeah, yeah.
But it happened.
Peyton
I know the
Manning,
same thing
Manning,
could be said
Colts.
about when Brett Favre went to the Vikings. That was probably a lot shocking too.
Jets.
So it's like,
And the Jets.
and then the
Yeah.
Jets. Yeah.
Yeah, that just doesn't look right.
Or that guy Tom Brady that went from the Patriots to the
Yeah.
Bucks.
Fuck Tom Brady. Don't talk about him. We don't need to talk about him. Fuck. Fuck
Yeah,
that
but
cheap
Brady-
son of a bitch.
Brady,
Fucking
Brady, Brady,
Brady.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Fuck that cheating son of a bitch. Fuck him. He's out. I don't want to talk about him. He's done. He's out of the league.
Right.
All he is just
Yes.
some dude sending pictures in his underwear on the side of his bed like a fucking creep. Get the fuck out of here. Be a dad, you homo.
Yeah, cost his whole family trying to come back this year. Dummy.
I love how pissed Randy gets anything you talk about Tom Brady.
I'm sorry. I just hate that he cheated the game I love, man. Like, no, fuck out of here. The greatest. Okay. Got some fucking else to your name beside you that said you did this and did that. Fuck out of here, you cheating son of a bitch.
I'll take
He's
Jim
probably
Montana
gonna
over
be,
him any day.
Oh
That's
my
just
God.
old.
He's
All
probably
right.
going to be a.
I'm done with you, Coach.
All right, we
Brady's a
definitely
good
need a
enough
pause
song.
on that one.
Yeah, our coach. Jeez. That's a big pause right there.
I don't even want to respond to that or even think about it. Get that thought out of my mind.
That's true. The A's might be out of there too. Out of Oakland. They might be going to
Oakland.
Las Vegas. I think it's a matter of time until Vegas eventually gets a baseball and a basketball team. I agree with what Blaze said earlier.
Yeah,
they already have a
it's-
hockey and football. They're gonna get a
Yep.
the other two too.
That's Sports Central. That's where the bookers are and everything. That's a big market. It's never been there. I'd love to go to Vegas. I'm not a gambler at all, but
Same.
I've been there a couple
fantasy
of times.
football is the
It's
callest
not
I
bad.
gamble, man.
I don't
Same.
gamble
Yeah.
at all.
No gambling.
Yeah,
Good.
fantasy
You're a
football.
smart man not to gamble.
Mhm. I love how Danny's still taking shots at Arku's team. Even like they're not even talking about it. They're still go back to Seattle.
They make
So
it
when I was
too easy to gamble.
I think I was
Yeah.
when I was down the shore years ago with a friend of mine, and we went gambling. I didn't go. I was just sitting there. And when she was leaving, she was like, "Oh, I lost $2,000. I forgot he's a Patriots."
Hey, he's a Patriots fan. He loves Brady.
So yeah, my friend lost 1,000.
AJ has a question for you, Randy.
Oh, fuck, because he's a Bucks fan. God, fuck it. man. We're talking basketball. It's basketball. I'm not talking about that cocksucker. No.
Randy, see the
There you go,
biggest.
we're not
Oh,
monetized.
so he's got a basketball question. Is Van Vliet coming to Orlando? You guys making a deal with Orlando tomorrow?
Oh, that okay, yeah, that I'll talk about.
Yeah.
That's kind of questionable because apparently the Clippers Kawhi really wants Fred in LA, but then there's a lot of rumors that apparently Denver also is interested in Fred VanVleet as well. So but then there's a lot of stuff I'm reading online that apparently Orlando is really wanting Fred VanVleet, basically saying if Fred VanVleet gets traded and it's not to them, their number one priority is him in the offseason, apparently. So
Vegas is about cheating. The Aces are under investigation for trying to circumvent the WNBA CBA. Sin City says it best. I'm not going to disagree with what Coach is saying. I didn't know that, but if that's true,
that ain't good.
No, I mean nobody should be surprised when you have a team in
Vegas is all
Vegas.
about fiction.
Yeah.
Art Davis is happy about that. But Randy, what we talking about it earlier before you popped on, we all believe that your team is the team to watch in this trade deadline. I think this trade deadline, in terms of the activity, is going to hence a lot on your team and what's going to happen. So what is your expectations going into this trade deadline as a Raptors fan? You expecting them to blow it up? You expecting them to pretty much, trade one or two guys? Or what do you think is going to happen?
Well, Fred VanVleet's contract's up this year, so you definitely got to get him off the books. Gary Trent Jr. is opting out next year, so you definitely want to get something for him off the books. And then obviously, like, all the rumors about Pascal, I don't believe them whatsoever. I think that's just somebody saying stuff. I don't think he's going anywhere. Team wants to build around Pascal and Scotty Barnes, sorry. Again, apparently there's rumors that Thaddeus Young might either potentially have a trade going back to the Spurs. So like there's a lot of players on our team. OG Anunoby's contract's up not this year, but next year. So the teams that would be taking him on would have control for him not only this year but the following year. So that's why a lot of speculation that the Raptors are looking for a lot of capital back, because you got control for him the following year, so you'll able to extend him if you guys wanted to, or whoever wants him. But so yeah, there's lots of guys on our team that are either linked to another team or who could potentially be gone by the end of tomorrow. So that's why I'm super excited, because it's the first time in a while that my team actually gets to control the NBA deadline in a sense, like you said. So
you're right. I think you do. I think your team is the key of what's going to happen this deadline, because all your guys, the only guy I think that's an untouchable on that team is Scotty Barnes. I even think Siakam could be had if the team is willing to pay up for him. Like if my team is crazy enough to trade Claxton, I think the Raptors would think about it, because Claxton is a young emerging center, and I mean they would do it. I think they would do it for Siakam and Claxton involved. I think they would do it, and it would help Kevin Durant, because the Nets, we're desperate right now after the Kyrie Irving trade. We can all say it. My team is desperate to make a move. We want to try to appease to Kevin Durant any way possible, to try to pretty much hope that he doesn't leave. So I mean that's why you heard rumors about the Nets being interested in VanVleet before the trade, before they made the finalization of that the Nets and Mavericks trade. So at this point, I think my team is another one of the teams that could be a team to watch, because the Nets are going to try to be active and they're going to try to make a move to try and make sure they can appease Kevin Durant any way possible before we get to the NBA trade deadline tomorrow.
I had to go get my crew. I'm back. I got my boys with me now.
Hey!
I got my family with me.
Hell yeah, I love it. That's awesome.
There's nothing that makes Mitch happier than SpongeBob and brownies.
There you go. Special brownies.
To answer you, AJ,
brownies.
Depending on who's coming back, obviously you're going to get Fred VanVleet, and then I don't know if somebody else might be attached to that as well, but I really wouldn't mind. Apparently, I'm hearing a lot of rumors that the Raptors brass really likes Jalen Suggs. So I wouldn't really mind going after either Jalen Suggs or getting somebody like Gary Harris or.
No, Mo Bamba is interested, or the Celtics are interested in Mo Bamba.
So I think we might be interested in him too, might be as well. So maybe even him too. So.
Coach, in terms of this, I really just want Kevin Durant to just come out and just say if he's going to be committed to this team or if he just wants to ask for a trade. Because I don't want this indecision with Kevin Durant for going into the trade deadline where he just pretty much still doesn't say what he wants to do. It keeps the team from making a move because if Kevin Durant doesn't know what he wants and then we go into the rest of the season, we don't upgrade, we're not good enough to go anywhere in the East this year. We're not beating Boston. We're not beating Philly. We're not beating any of these teams. And at the same time, at this point, Kevin Durant's got to say something, because if he says he's willing to stay with this team, then we can go out there and try to improve this team going forward. If he's saying he wants out, trade him. Get him out of here. I'm willing to give up Kevin Durant.
You know what Kevin Durant needs to do?
What's that?
He needs to join the crew. shave that craziness on top of his head.
Yeah, he does. He does.
It's time, KD.
So,
and
apparently,
LeBron.
so now the
Oh my
Warriors.
God, yeah.
So now the Warriors are looking to potentially package James Wiseman and Moses Moody.
For who?
Just looking to pack. I don't know. It doesn't say.
Ooh, I would like them.
Makes sense. It makes sense. Though Wiseman's not playing. He's the third center on that team, so he's not going
I'll
to play
take him
at all.
over Montrezl Harrell.
He's the only player I can see getting traded
I like Cam
from
Thomas.
the Warriors.
How can you not like Cam Thomas? Like,
I'm very, very,
I agree with
very
you, Bobby.
reluctant to trade him.
yo, little spongy, what
Hey,
is up, man?
SpongeBob. Bobby hates the Raptors, Mitch.
He does. He does.
Mm.
Yeah,
Plus, he just likes
hates
trolling.
my
He
team
likes
anymore.
He's a
trolling Randy
Celtics fan.
too.
He's a Celtics fan. I can't blame him for that.
And
Whatever.
he likes trolling Randy too. So
Yeah.
No, he
Yeah.
trolls me the most out of everybody.
No, but
Of course.
if Bobby wants to, he can piss off Randy with that number 12 talk. That's how he gets Randy. So.
Yeah.
Mm.
What- This is
44,
insane.
47, 33.
44
Yeah,
points, 42, 43.
Yeah.
I'm not trading him. I don't care what the Nets. The one thing that scares me with the Nets is that they're going to do something stupid. I'm really scared that Sean Marks is going to do something dumb.
KD. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't want. I'm at the point I don't care. I'm not going out there to mortgage my future a third time to please my superstar. I'm not doing it. I've done it twice, and it's bitten us in the ass twice. I am not doing it again. Trading our young players for the sake of making KD happy for half a season, and if it doesn't go well, he asks for a trade anyway, and we have nothing. I'm not doing it. I'm keeping Claxton. I'm keeping Cam Thomas, and I'm trying to protect my future going into next year. I don't care. I'm not even doing it for Siakam or Anunoby. I'm not doing it. To me, Cam Thomas and Nicholas Claxton are untouchable. I'm not trading them.
Your team scares me the most. Your team scares me the most, Jeff, because
Why?
it's just so unpredictable. Your team is just like out of left field. Oh, we take Ben Simmons.
I'm not doing it, Coach. I don't want RJ Barrett. I'm not doing it for RJ Barrett. You really think Ben Simmons at this point is coming back? Please. You have a better chance. You have a better chance of winning the lottery 5 times over than Ben Simmons actually becoming a legit player.
Oh,
Nemar,
Twitter's
it might
back.
be best.
Nemar, Twitter's back.
It might be best for you, Nemar.
Twitter's back.
Don't sit
As far
on
as
Twitter
Kevin
all day.
Durant
It's
goes,
unhealthy.
Twitter's back.
He's got all the
Except
talent in
for
the
DMs,
world,
but
but he's got the
Twitter's back.
same heart as Tin Man from The Wizard of Oz.
Well, no, I think Durant's got more heart than like Kyrie
Oh,
Irving, Ben Simmons,
Nicky.
and James Harden did.
Damn.
Durant's still a good player. I think he's got more heart than those guys.
When was Kevin Durant at his best? Wasn't Oklahoma City.
It was the
Wait,
Warriors,
was
yeah.
with the
What?
Warriors. He needs
Mark
to be
Hamlin
surrounded by-
could play again.
He
Warriors.
needs surrounded by more talent. He needs more talent around him.
I just got an alert that DeMar Hamlin could play again.
I mean,
That's
if he's
awesome.
healthy, if he's healthy
incredible.
enough and he's good enough to play, why not?
I'm glad he finally
What
came out and
happened?
did his little interview by himself for all those people out there that were controversy and all that bullshit. they were
Yeah,
saying
that was
about him.
such
Yeah.
bullshit saying that he was dead and they were faking it. Like, get
Yeah.
out of here.
No, they
Respect.
won the lottery with Patrick Ewing. They won. And Patrick,
Ewing,
that was
yeah.
sick.
Yeah.
Did they even
Anybody
have
that-
the lottery
that's
back then?
disgusting.
Oh, it's up for me.
Well, Knicks fans are going to complain because of the 1 year where they were the worst team in the league and they had a chance to draft Zion and they didn't do it.
DMs are down.
Or
but they're
John Moran either. So
I'm just
That's-
and y'all answer this for me. Maybe it's just a crazy question. I was just wondered why the Celtics never got Kevin Durant. Or we never
because they didn't want to trade their young guys. They didn't want to trade
They
Jaylen
wouldn't
Brown
want
or
to trade
Jason
Jaylen
Tatum.
Brown or Tatum. That's
Yeah.
why.
You're right, Mitch. 1985 was the first year of the lottery, and it was Ewing number one.
Yeah.
Damn, it's been
Yeah,
that long.
That was fixed.
Lottery
That
started.
was fixed.
hmm
They knew the number. They pulled it out. It was
And
fixed.
my God, did they waste Ewing's years? They should have won a championship with Patrick Ewing.
Yeah.
They had it right there to win a championship, especially in that 1994 year when they played against the Rockets. If John Starks wasn't throwing up bricks that entire game, the Knicks would have won a championship. That was the
But
one.
man,
that was
was
the
he
one year
good
the
in
Knicks
Space
had it.
Jam. Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, dude,
Yeah.
I love that he had.
Oh
the
my
original.
God, Bobby,
Original
you're.
Jam.
Oh my God, I just saw it.
I remember 85. Yeah.
But
No.
I don't know.
Randy, this is for you. This is what Bobby sent me. It's like F the Raptors.
Oh, fuck's sakes.
At least it wasn't you know who, number 12.
The night's still young.
Randy, see, that's the one thing you should have never done is say all this, like, the worst, the bad things about Mr. Brady, because everybody's going to torture you now about it. It's like, oh, I want to piss off Randy. I'm just going to talk about him the whole time just to get Randy mad.
It's fine. I got blood pressure medication. I'm good.
Oh, God.
At least we got to wait a year before he's doing commentary.
That helps you with the Raptors.
Please don't put him on commentary.
So Sam just said on Westbrook, there's definitely.
Do you want to know what I got in the mail?
Has a level of momentum.
What's that?
No, it just said.
What's that, Randy?
Definitely a deal that has a level of momentum.
You know, one thing y'all were talking about, Patrick.
Coach
Ewing,
really
man.
loves Ron Harper Jr.
Yeah,
Watching
he's good.
him
Oh, yeah, he does.
Amazing. If you all ever watched Patrick,
I watched
Ewing
the
at
905
Georgetown,
the other day, man. He was looking pretty good.
Nah, he's got his father's he's got his father's
Megatron picked
abilities.
the Eagles to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, Twitter's back, but the
Yeah.
DMs aren't back yet.
DM's not, but Twitter is.
Best
Oh,
Raptor in
God.
history is me, Gary Trent Jr.
the president is literally rooting.
Get out
for
of here,
the
Gary. Get out.
Eagles.
You're not the
President
best
of the
Raptor.
United States. is
Imagine if they
rooting for
kept
the
him and signed him to an extension.
His wife is probably going to the game.
Yeah, Twitter's down for
Who's
me.
at the NFC
Jeff, why
Championship?
are
I mean,
you doing
DM.
this to me? I
Got a
thought we were
box
friends.
seat.
I'm not saying I want it for you. I don't. I want to see him. You guys trade him. I think that'd be the best thing for you. But I mean,
Hey,
you don't
Blake.
know.
I
Do
just
you
want some
tru-
young talent.
do
I
you
really just want
trust-
some young talent.
Do you trust the
Again?
jury to make the right trades? Do you trust your GM?
I
Oh
trust
my God.
Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster. I do.
Are you
I
trying
do.
to get
Okay.
Randy killed? Are you trying to get Randy like?
Stop, Beantown, Bobby. What are you doing? It's bad, isn't it?
Wait, we're here front on Gary
Oh,
Trent. He's
my
averaging
God.
almost 19 a game. man.
Oh God.
Gary Trent's a legend.
Oh God.
Bobby, why? When you look at all those, some of them say fraud on them. They don't say winner.
They have little asterisks on. They're fake diamonds. 3 of those
Someone
rings
say
are fake
fraud on
diamonds.
Hey, Flame. What's going on, Flame
One of
Legend?
the footballs on the rig is deflated. Like it'll be deflated just to remind them that season. You know, deflated footballs. You know.
Mm.
Little camera on one.
Randy.
Yeah, a big camera on one. Yeah.
Yeah, see, there it is. There it is. A deflated football right there. Tom Brady must have sent Mitch a present in the mail. The parades were awesome, all 6 of them. Yeah, well, guess what, Bobby? It could have been 8.
The Berg too.
It could have been 8, but
It could have been 9.
Team.
It could have been
Yeah.
9.
The NFC East stopped you 3 times from winning at 9. So, and also if the Falcons had a competent head coach at that time and decided to run the ball, and if they decided to run the ball with Marshawn Lynch, it would have been another championship taken away.
Oh.
Do you want to see what I got today?
Yeah, let's see it.
Eli.
Nick Foles.
Nick Foles, big.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That is
Oh,
really nice.
you.
That is nice.
No.
Who's the guy
Damn right,
crying?
Coach. Damn right, Coach.
I'm not crying. I'm laughing. He's the one that is not.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause he's the
exactly.
guy that's crying right
28
next
to
to
3.
Kawhi.
Yup.
So wait, is that going for your studio?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Cool. Is that table set up or not yet?
I feel so bad for Matt Ryan. That guy's going to be, he's always going to be known on the teams that choke. The worst Super Bowl choking performance and the worst in the regular season. That's Matt Ryan's career.
He's done?
Unfortunately.
Is he done?
I don't think he's done, but is anybody going to pick him up at this point? I don't know if anybody's going to want him as a starting quarterback.
Or if he'll want to be a backup.
Yeah, I think the best thing for him to do is just maybe go back to the Falcons and just retire. Sign a 1-year contract with them and retire. Big deal. My God, Nicky.
Or just a 1-day contract and retire.
What do you think
Like
was
a lot of
worse as a Super
quarterbacks
Bowl?
do.
What do you think was worse as a Super Bowl? The Falcons choking away that lead against the Pats, or the idiotic decision to not give the ball to Marshawn Lynch?
Oh, Marshawn Lynch. Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch.
I still feel bad for the Titans when he reached for the goal.
Oh yeah, Kevin Tyson.
So
And
close.
my brother's a Titans fan. My brother's a big Titans
That
fan,
has
and that
to be
broke
Oh, I
his
didn't know
heart.
that.
Yeah, he's a big Titans fan. That broke
How
his
is he a
heart.
Titans fan, but you're everything?
He was a
Jersey.
fan of Eddie George, Steve McNair, Javon Curse,
Rest in
Derek
peace to Steve
Mason,
McNair,
Frank
but, yeah.
Wycheck, those guys.
Cool.
Bruce
That was.
Matthews.
I love that team. I loved that
That was
team.
a good team.
They
Yeah.
were Music City Miracles. It might have been the biggest playoff crazy ending I've ever seen.
Hope they bring the
That Music
Oiler
City
helmets
Miracle.
back because they can have alternate helmets next year again. They got to bring the
Man.
Oilers helmet back.
That would be sweet.
Yes.
That's the
That
thing.
was
Why
cool.
That
did
really
Houston
would be
Houston,
sweet.
when
The
Houston
Oilers
went
was a
back,
better place.
why did they go back to being the Oilers
That's
when
a
they
good
went
question.
to Houston? Why did
Let's
they
go
go
to
be
Texans.
the Texans of all teams? The Texans?
I don't know.
Should've
Well, the
been
Houston
Oilers.
Because they
Oilers,
didn't want to
as
give up the
cool as a
rights
name
to
and
the Oilers
uniforms,
name.
I don't know
My
if the
guess.
Oilers name held enough weight for them to bring it back. Maybe they wanted a new
Yeah.
start.
I guess that's true. I guess you're right.
They don't
on
have
that
much
one.
tradition and history in winning in the Oilers, but I like the name and the unis. But
Mm.
I still think best uniforms of all time is the Chargers.
The powder
That's
blue?
my opinion. Just all together, even in the 80s. Just the lightning bolts down the side. Even though I'm a Steeler fan, I love the Bengals uniforms. What other helmet is unique as them?
I love
They
the
got
Bengals.
they got great
Yeah, the
uniforms.
black and orange. That's a cool color scheme.
It
When
does.
they
It
did the
clashes
very
very
all
well.
white tiger this year. Oh, that was
I like
Oh,
those.
God.
The
I
white
like
tiger's
white
dope.
uniform.
The
Yeah,
white
those are
tiger's
good.
dope.
amazing.
Oh yeah, Marshawn Lynch was a beast.
I'm a
He's
big gear,
beast.
as you can tell behind me. I love different helmets, different jerseys, and shit like that.
So let me ask you guys something about the trade deadline for tomorrow. Is there a team that could shock you that makes a trade that would be like, whoa, that caught me off guard?
Everything I'm seeing is the same 4 or 5 teams, so that's a great
Yeah.
question.
I mean, technically,
Yeah.
anybody could shock us. Technically,
Yeah, teams might get desperate. They might get desperate that the deadline's here, and they might want to go out there and try to improve their team going to the playoffs. So could see one of those top Western Conference teams make a trade like Memphis, Denver, even the Clippers, whoever it is, Sacramento, the Golden State. I think a lot of teams are just trying to beef up a little bit going to the playoffs.
Nets fans and Raptors fans. Furkan Korkmaz is requesting a trade.
I don't want him. We have enough Forkman Kormats on our teams. We have guys named Joe Harris and Patty Mills on our team. We don't need another shooter. I'll pass, thank you. And Harris and Mills have done nothing for the team this year. And I love Curry, but he's always hurt. So no. I don't want Korkmaz on my team. I'll take Thibault. Thibault's a good defensive player.
Thibault's going to the Bulls. I think Thibault's going to the Bulls.
For who? For
That's
Drummond?
a team I think that could make a splash and surprise us, the Bulls.
It's the Bulls,
Did
yes.
they trade Levine? You think they trade Levine?
They got a lot of stuff they could trade.
Yeah.
They got a lot of stuff. I think it's Vucevic.
Is he still have
What
good
about the
value
Pels?
though?
What about the Pels?
What would the Pels be looking for?
A new name.
Yeah. Yeah.
You trade someone for their team name.
Yeah.
Wait, where is Juice? When we're talking about the Pelicans, he should be here complaining.
He's going out to get his Derek Carr jersey. That's what he's doing. He's going out to get his number 4 Derek Carr jersey for the Saints.
They don't have receivers.
He's out there playing with the Pelicans.
Yeah.
One leg up. That's like
They have
left hand.
Crystal Olave.
Let's hand up. Yeah.
They should be
Yeah.
one leg up.
Thibault and Korkmaz. No, I don't want Cam Reddish. I don't want Reddish.
You don't want Cam Reddish?
No. Not at all.
Why?
If Korkmaz is in the
And
deal,
why
I'll
not
take it.
Archie Diacono? Why not Archie
Yeah.
Diacono?
He won't even play.
Hey, Steph Curry's in the chat now. Hey, Steph. Hope you're
Hey,
getting better from your injury, Steph. I know you got a little busted up in that game a couple of nights ago.
that's fine.
Embiid's day
Hey,
today.
Steph, want to come back home where it all started,
Embiid's
where you
playing
were
tonight
shooting
in
the ball as a
Boston.
little boy
Oh,
on
good.
Air Canada Center, while your dad Dell was playing for the Raptors? Come back to where it all started. Bring
In
your
your
brother too while
dreams.
you're at it.
Yeah, Randy, it's not happening. Sorry. It's not
in your
happening.
dreams,
Yeah. It's a
God
good try.
damn, I
or
can
go
make
put
a
in
wish.
2K and make it happen there.
No, Knicks fans are still haunted with the fact they didn't get Steph Curry. Knicks fans are haunted by that one because they wanted Curry.
No, the Timberwolves.
The T-Wolves?
The T-Wolves could have got him, but they got God, what was his name?
Was it Rubio?
Yes,
No,
they got Rubio.
It was Ricky Rubio, yeah. I like Ricky Rubio, though. He just always
I
got
like
hurt.
him too. Can you wait? What team is Rubio on now?
I was gonna say, where the hell is he right
I think
now?
he's on the Cavs. Yeah,
Oh,
he's on the Cavs.
Okay.
Yeah, he's their backup point guard to Garland.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I like Rubio, but how would you guys like Mike Conley on the Timberwolves? I would like it.
Does he have anything left?
I mean, they need a veteran. I think they'll have a veteran instead of D'Angelo.
That's a downgrade, though. I don't know how much. How much does Mike Conley still have left? He's like what, in his late 30s now?
He's got
Around
like maybe
there.
1 or 2 years. I mean, Timberwolves suck it right now. They'll take anything.
The problem with them is that Gobert trade didn't work.
I know.
Him and Cat don't mesh.
Do you think Cat will be traded?
I would rather trade Gobert than Cat. I would not.
Well, they can't trade Gobert. They're stuck with him.
But they can't trade Gobert yet.
I would have not traded for Gobert because I Cat's the franchise of that team. I would not trade him.
Are you sure? Because people are telling me that it's Anthony Edwards that's the think
I still think it's Cat. I think it's
it's
Karl-Anthony
Cat. I'm right
Towns.
there with you.
Yeah,
I think it's Cat. But a
Yeah.
lot of people are saying it's Anthony Edwards.
I could see that. I mean, because of his versatility and his upside, I guess from the guard
His
position.
scoring.
I don't know. That trade just absolutely blew up in their face. So, yeah, maybe they could try. I mean, nobody's going to want him now because of his contract and also because of the fact that he's just not produced this year. So he's got no value. You're right. Blaze, brother.
Greg, what's up, Greg?
Gregor goes like everywhere. It
He
hasn't
does.
been a year since the trade, right?
Yeah. They'd have to probably wait until a year afterwards. Gobert should have stayed in Utah. He had problems with Donovan Mitchell. That's why they traded him. Him and Mitchell just didn't coexist very well, especially towards the end. So that's why they had to trade
But
him.
And then they ironically traded both.
Yeah.
Zion Williamson out through the All-Star game, hamstring.
So what
Yeah,
else?
Zion is not playing. KD is not playing.
God, that sucks. I love
So
All-Star
Embiid is going to
weekend.
move.
I hate when people aren't there.
It always happens.
It
Nobody
always
cares about
does.
the Nobody cares
What-
about the All-Star games anymore. That's the
I
problem.
love the All-Star game. I love the whole weekend. It's my favorite weekend. Isn't it the same weekend as Elimination
When is it again?
Chamber?
Yeah, when?
The 18th. Yeah, it's the
It's the
same
same
day.
weekend as Elimination Chamber.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
So I won't be streaming the All-Star game this year. Randy, if you want to
I
stream
don't-
that, you're good for it.
I don't care about the All-Star
Well,
game.
the,
It's just a glorified
Daytona
scrimmage.
500 that Sunday.
It's that afternoon, then it's the All-Star game later, right?
Well, no, is the All-Star game Sunday, right?
All-Star game is Sunday. It's the same day as the Daytona 500.
The
which,
Elimination Chamber
AM,
Saturday.
Randy, and AK are streaming.
Yeah, and the Chamber Saturday.
Yeah, I can't wait.
No, the Chamber's Sunday.
Saturday.
Why did I think it was Sunday?
I heard
Yeah,
Oh, I
rumors
can
they
see
were
the
gonna-
All-Star
Set that up
game.
further, by the way.
Woo, I can see the All-Star
Wait,
game
what?
then. Yes.
I heard rumors
I'm
they were going
setting
to
up
pick
the
the All-Star
Daytona
game like
500.
right before the
Badass.
game.
Oh, cool.
Are they still
Oh,
doing that with the teams?
Add my
Picking
channel.
them-
I think they
Oh,
already.
Randy's
they
got
might
it.
do
He's
that.
gonna add yours,
Blaze,
AK, he
Blaze,
got
they
it.
might do that.
Awesome.
They might do it either the night before or they might do it the day of. I'm not sure how they're going to arrange, picking the All-Star games. So
Besides them playing with each other, I'd love to see them do it like a real pickup game. Do it live right before the game. I'll take him.
and make it feel like
I'll
a real
take him.
game too.
Yep.
Oh, here's a question for you, Blaze. What's your
Oh,
favorite
Jesus.
NBA jersey?
It's my either my Sixers right here or this Jordan or back in the day Jordan. I have one from every team here, but this Sixers Dr. J jersey and this Jordan are probably two of my favorites.
Is that the one that's back in the late 80s, early 90s
Yeah.
Bulls jersey?
Yep.
Oh, those are the best
Chicago
ones.
and script across the chest. Yeah.
That was one of the best jerseys.
I had
speaking
the Jordan one.
Speaking of
Right.
Sonics, there's a Sonics jersey down the bottom, a Kemp jersey.
Oh man,
Ooh.
people
Bring
forget
back
how
the
good
Sonics.
People forget how good Sean Kemp was in his prime. Sean Kemp was a beast for the Sonics. Him and
Oh,
Peyton were a lethal 1-2.
Have you seen Sean Kemp lately? He's humongous.
He's huge, yeah.
Yeah, he put on a lot
He
of weight.
is huge.
He's a big boy.
He's not doing them big windmill dunks anymore. He might. I don't know if he does now. He kills someone.
Hold on. Bobby, if you're still in here, no Al Horford and no Rob Williams tonight.
That's fine. Did they really need him?
Al Horford's
Yeah.
been playing really well, though. He's been
Yeah,
playing
but it's load management. It's either like minor injury or load management.
well. Yeah.
Celtics
So,
are, good, the
Bobby and I
Celtics are in
for the
great
game-
position.
Wait, Bobby and I for the game. You ready? We're gonna have a Joel Embiid fall counter. So whenever he falls,
He does fall so much. He falls
the
so
first
much.
time, the very first game, me and Bobby streamed it. Embiid fell 8 times.
Does he do that on purpose just to draw fouls?
I feel like a flopper. Yeah.
Yeah,
Harden
him
does
and
it
Harden.
too.
There was this one picture, Nikki. I don't know if you saw it. Embiid and Harden were both laying on the ground flat.
Really?
I can't find it, but
Embiid,
yeah,
yeah.
I remember seeing that a while
He
back.
falls more
was
than
just like-
Rocky against Drago.
Yeah.
I will break you. There isn't many good games, because nobody's gonna really pay attention to the NBA tonight. Everybody's focused on the trade deadline now.
Yeah. Well, Sixers and
Everybody's
Celtics
focused on.
are cool if you
Yeah.
want to watch me and Bobby back and forth. And Nikki's
I'll-
live for the
maybe
game
I'll
as well.
Maybe I'll sit in the chat. I was gonna pretty much watch AEW tonight. Watch Dynamite.
Oh, it's going to be
Meantime.
good. AEW is going to be good
Yeah, there you
tonight.
go. King's Hand, Jalen freaking Hurts is here.
Hey!
That's right.
See, this is where I'm outnumbered because I got all the Sixers, the Eagles fans here, and I'm the only Giant fan. So.
That's a Raptors fan, too.
Yeah, but he's an Eagles fan as
Over.
well. So,
I mean, Blaze is not an Eagles fan.
well, he's a Steelers fan, yeah, but he's no ill will towards the Eagles. I'm trying to see what games to watch. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of the Sixers and Celtics because it is a good basketball game. So,
Oh, I can't wait for tomorrow. I'm streaming the Bulls and the Nets with Jeff.
yeah. You might have a record. You might have a record of how many times I put Mitch backstage during the stream. It literally might be a
I might
record.
pop on that. I might pop on that.
Go
Thank-
for it.
Randy, if you do, I'll put your channel on it.
I might lose my. I don't know if I'm gonna lose my mind. The
Randy, when are we
expectations
flying
for the Nets
over
are
your
going
house?
down.
Duh.
Pacers and Heat.
We got to
That might
do
be
a
decent
Canadian
game.
tour. You got to show me what your area looks like, dude. We got to do a flight sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, no Marcus Smart either. No
Well,
Marcus
he's
Smart
hurt.
tonight.
He's been hurt. He's not gonna.
Right.
He's probably
I
not gonna
forgot
play
about
for
Marcus
some time.
Smart.
Yeah, he's not gonna play for a while. They don't need him. The Celtics are in a great position right now because they really are controlling the Eastern Conference. There's nobody out there that could deal with them at the moment. The Celtics are in a great position. They're cruising.
I
right
would
now.
say the Bucks. I would say the Bucks if it wasn't for Chris Middleton. Like, I don't know what's going on with them.
At this point, just do what you're doing right now and get them ready for the playoffs. That's all that matters. Get Middleton ready for the playoffs, and then you're set to go. Because Middleton has proven in the playoffs he could be a big time player. So that's all it is. Middleton's proven to be a big time player in the playoffs. Think about it. When they won the championship, it wasn't Antetokounmpo that was the main star of that team. It was Middleton.
Yes.
Middleton was
yes.
unbelievable that when they won the championship. He was the guy that led that team. So.
My dad just called me to talk about LeBron. I said, let me give you a hot take on that, Dad.
Yeah.
Well, he couldn't figure out. He was talking about LeBron, Kareem, and Jordan was 5, and Karl Malone, who was number 4 overall.
Did you say Oscar Robertson?
Nope.
I
Magic
don't
Johnson?
like Karl Malone.
Nope. It goes LeBron, Kareem, Karl, somebody else, then Jordan.
Wilt. Got to throw Wilt in there.
Kobe.
Got to throw Wilt.
Wilt 7, Dirk is 6, 8 is Shaq, 9 is Carmelo Anthony, and 10 is Moses Malone. Who's number
Wait.
4?
Kobe.
Yep, there you go. Kobe's number 4.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
People forget how good Wilt Chamberlain was. I don't get why people don't give Wilt Chamberlain the respect that
Well,
he had.
here's
That dude
Wilt back in
was
those days.
Dominant.
Here's
back in the
everybody
day.
else. Wilt was here. Everybody else was 6 foot tall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you want to hear something? Who was the when he scored 100 points? Who was it against?
That's a good
The
question.
Knicks.
The Knicks. There you go.
All right, well, here's a question. Out of all the centers, the greatest centers in the NBA, you say Olajuwon, you could say Wilt Chamberlain,
Shaq.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, Shaquille O'Neal. How would you rank the best centers of all time?
Kareem won.
In your opinion, not, just your opinion.
Yeah.
Not
In
like,
today's
who's
basketball or back then? Because today I want Shaq because he's dominant. He's just going to barrel through everybody.
Knicks in Hershey, Pennsylvania. Thank you,
anybody. I'm just the Wilt guy. I'd pick Wilt first. I've always been a big
I'm
huge fan of
Kareem
Wilt
guy. I
Chamberlain.
go Kareem
And
one.
Kareem had nothing but all-stars on his whole team. Not knocking Kareem at all, but he had all-stars throughout his whole starting five.
Yeah.
Well,
And Shaq,
in
there's
Milwaukee,
no
no, he
real dominant
didn't.
time.
Milwaukee,
Shaq didn't
no, he
really have
didn't.
anybody.
In Milwaukee, he didn't. You're correct. But in
No,
LA,
he
he
had
did.
Oscar. Once he
Yeah.
had Oscar, they won the ring.
True. You're right.
Who was there with Shaq when he was as dominant as he
Penny,
was?
just Penny and Nick
But I
Anderson.
mean, like in terms of opposing great
Center.
centers,
Center.
because Olajuwon was getting towards the end of his
Yeah.
career. Ewing was at the end of his career. Mourning was getting up there in age.
There weren't too many.
Mutombo,
Who's the
The
guy for
only reason I
Pacers?
could see Coach saying that is
Smits?
because the
Yeah,
rings.
Smits.
Because the rings.
There's not a lot. Smits is one of those
Russell,
first big
Kareem,
men who could
Shaq,
step out and
Hakeem,
shoot jumpers too.
I
He was
agree.
ahead
And-
of his time.
And people and also people forget how good Hakeem Olajuwon was as a two-way player.
I mean,
Hakeem
he was a
Olajuwon
dominant
was
center.
such a great
There
center.
was a dominant center. He didn't play for that long. He's a Hall of Famer. Yao Ming.
Well, back then, we had
Yeah,
a
I
bunch of
guess.
great shot blockers.
Injuries
Who's
is
the
what
great
killed
shot
his
blockers
career.
of now?
Injuries killed him. But yeah, you got to put Yao Ming in there.
That's a great point. That's a
Who's-
great point,
Back
Blaze.
then, there were so many great shot blockers. Nowadays, who are the top 3 shot blockers in the NBA right now?
Nick
Jared
Claxton,
Jackson,
Jerry
Nick
Jackson
Claxton,
Jr.
and Brooke Lopez,
Yep.
probably.
David Robinson.
David Robinson
the
is another
Admiral.
one.
Yeah, there you go.
The
The Admiral.
Admiral.
That's a good one.
Was Tim Duncan a power forward strictly, or did he play some center too?
Both.
He was more of a power forward, but he
Yeah.
did play some center.
Same thing with Garnett.
Garnett, yes. It is.
Garnett played a little power forward and center as well, even though he was really
No.
strictly a power
I
forward.
love KG. I loved him back
Me
in
too.
the day. man.
And I love
I do
Duncan
too.
as well.
You know who I loved more? Dirk.
Oh, Dirk as well. Yeah.
Dirk.
Look at all. That's the thing. That's the biggest difference in the NBA back then than there is now. Look at all the dominant big men we just named in the 90s and the 2000s at the power forward and the center position. There's really not a lot nowadays. It's more of a
Oh, you know what's
guard-oriented
sad?
sport.
Yeah.
You know what's sad? The Sixers played the Lakers in the finals. Magic Johnson was a rookie. He beat
Moses
us at the
Malone.
center position.
Yeah. Moses Malone. Magic played all 5 positions, man. He's
He did.
amazing.
Yeah.
He did.
Because he could back anybody down. That's why he could play.
And I love how they compared Ben Simmons to Magic Johnson. I loved it.
It's an insult to Magic Johnson. That is a direct slap in the face. It's like somebody comparing Michael
Fresh-
Parsons to Lawrence Taylor.
Fresh out of college, I could see why they did because the
Yeah.
game was kind of similar. But as soon as
Still
he
say
fell
Mika
apart,
Parsons a better linebacker than Ben Simmons is as an NBA player.
Oh yeah, well that's not even close. That's absolutely truth. That's
Apples.
absolutely
I like the
Oranges.
caveman Bill Walton.
Yeah.
That's
Walton was
a-
another one.
that's
He got
the
hurt too.
underrated
Great
one. Yes.
If Walton never got hurt, he was another one that could have been great. He
You know who
he
could have been
suffered
great?
injuries.
You know who could have been good? Alonzo Mourning.
He was already good.
I mean, he could have
He
been
was
better.
already great. He was already great with those Heat teams. Alonzo Mourning was a feared center with that Miami Heat team back in the 90s and 2000s. He was great. I mean, he was probably top 5 in that time with him, Ewing, Olajuwon, Mutombo. Mutombo was the best defensive center that I might have ever seen, at least when I
wanna ask
was
you guys
watching
this.
basketball.
Who would you guys take? Olajuwon or Shaq?
I take Shaq.
I'm
I'd probably
going
take Shaq. I'd probably take Shaq. And I loved Olajuwon.
I
Yeah,
like
I'd probably take
dunks.
Shaq.
Olajuwon, not to say Olajuwon couldn't dunk. He had the spin moves, the fadeaways, and all that,
Yeah.
the dream shake. But I love to see Shaq dunk on people, man.
Shaq was just something. He was just a rare guy. You
He
could
would
not
get the
stop.
ball and bring it down the court
Yeah.
as big as he
Oh,
was.
He would
Randy
just he would
Nixon.
overwhelm you at the center position. He just back you down and he just like go right in and just dunk it constantly. You had no answer for him. And then you had
Personality
Kobe
and
on
the
the
way he is.
outside.
I just love Shaq all around.
Shaq.
Yeah. A lot of people should take notes of what Shaq's done over his career, like, like in terms of a personality, because he did it the right way. He was a good personality, never really got into a whole lot of trouble. He was a good player. He was a great player.
Gotta love.
He was.
We were talking Philly. Look, Charles Barkley. I love me some Charles Barkley and Moses Malone. If you're talking about centers, I mean, he's,
Oh,
Yeah,
centers
I just
mode.
said
Yeah.
he's the
But-
10th all-time leading scorer.
What about what about Robert Parrish?
He had a lot of people around. He had
He had a lot of
Yeah,
people.
he
That
was great.
Celtics team.
definitely
He
solid.
was
That's Celtics
great
team.
though. Parrish was underrated. He did have a lot of talent though on that team with him,
All right,
McHale,
so-
and
Paris is
and
30
Age and
overall in scoring, so he was
Yeah.
getting the points too.
Parrish was great when he had his
That's
opportunities.
a good point. Hakeem could shoot free throws. Shaq cannot. I'll give
Yeah,
you.
Shaq
on
Yeah,
that.
but
was- Shaq
did
was horrible
Elijah
in the line.
make threes like at all?
I don't. Not too many big men shot threes back then.
Yeah, you
Did
didn't
he-
really see a
Wait,
lot of big
did he
men go
make
from
more
behind the
than
line.
Shaq? Because Shaq made one.
Yes, he probably did. Probably did. But a lot of people are going to say with that Rockets team that there were a lot of great talent on that team too, because they had Clyde Drexler, Mario Elie, Robert Horry, Sam Cassell, Kenny Smith. They had a lot of good players on that Rockets team during the 90s as well. So
Olajuwon
people
had
might
20,
penalize
25 3-pointers Olajuwon had in his career.
25. Oh, I know
Olajuwon
number
was-
20 and 24.
Moses Malone had 8. Yep,
25.
Shaq had 1. Kareem had 1. Well, they didn't even have a 3-point line back then.
Did Wilt have any? Did Wilt have any threes?
No.
No, they didn't have 3-point line back then.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He doesn't even have
No.
3-point stats. He doesn't even have individual rebound stats. They didn't keep offensive and defensive rebounds back then.
That's the
Or
thing.
steals, or blocks, or turnovers. How about
Can
that?
you imagine
Well,
if they
last
had
night when
those
they were
stats for
showing the
Wilt?
stats between LeBron and Kareem, didn't it say that like Kareem had 3 3-pointers and LeBron had like 6,000 plus?
Kareem had 1.
No.
LeBron has 22, 37.
Here's another
That's
center.
the
There you
difference
go.
between
Here's another
Yeah.
center.
then and now.
Exactly. Yeah.
Here's
Can't compare.
another center that was dominant, but then his injuries killed him. Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
killed him
he
actually.
was-
What?
Dwight Howard in
Injuries and
Orlando.
character problems.
He was the last great defensive center.
And he's
in a
still
long
playing
time. Yes.
overseas
No.
or something?
He's in another country.
Yeah, still
Right now he's
overseas.
in another country, but a
Still
team
playing,
you
though.
never know. Another team could go out there and sign him, but
He's
Howard
also
was great.
jacked like a damn pro wrestler.
Wes
Yeah.
Unseld, George Mikan,
Yeah, that's
Dave
way back.
Cowens,
Yeah, Mike.
Mm.
Artist Gilmore, Ben Wallace if he was taller.
Harris was a star at Golden
Great
State before
defensively,
going to
though,
Boston.
I love Ben
He
Wallace.
willing
Yeah.
to change his game to help Boston. If not, he would have been up there. Yeah, I agree. Parrish was a tremendous player before he even went to Boston. He just molded in perfectly with that Celtics team. Robert Parrish was another one of the most underrated NBA players during his time. There's a reason why that guy was up
Dennis
there. He got
Rodman.
millions
Bird on
scores.
your
What about
team.
Rodman?
Yeah, Willis Reed. Robin's a power forward.
Yeah.
Rodman
Oh,
Oh,
is
you guys, I
Defense and
thought
blocking.
you just meant defensive player.
exactly. Rodman is one of the best defensive players of all time, hands down.
Who hardly
When you have-
ever shot the ball.
No, he didn't have to because you had Jordan and Pippen that could go out there and light it up for like 20, 30, 35 points
even,
a game.
even in Detroit with the bad boys.
And Harper
Mhm.
and Kerr and Kukoc.
Mhm. And B.J. Armstrong before. Then you had Bill Cartwright. Cartwright was a pretty decent.
Cartwright
pretty
came,
good
yeah,
center, too.
exactly.
He was good with the Knicks, and then he went over to the Bulls, and he didn't have to have a lot on his plate. He was more of a guy that just molded in with the team.
I think that's the
But
thing
Cartwright
that
was
people don't
underrated.
talk about nowadays is depth.
Yes.
And it comes into play more in the playoffs than it does the regular season. But depth back,
Mhm.
like you talked, look at the names you just rattled off for that Chicago team. Yeah, Jordan was great, but look at the depth he had.
They had such incredible
Yeah.
depth on that roster.
You bring
Horace
it back-
Grant was another one. Remember how good
Yeah.
Horace Grant was on that team? That
Forgot about
first Bulls
Grant,
team that
yep.
won 3 championships?
No one said Ralph Sampson.
Sampson, you could
Sampson.
put up there as another one. Ralph Sampson was a very underrated player. Kevin McHale.
In college, he was so dominant, Samson. No one could even touch him. He was just above and beyond, bigger, taller, and better than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here's another one that I loved watching growing up. I don't think he got a lot of respect. Vlade Divac.
Oh, Divac was very good.
Not a lot of
You-
people liked him. I don't know
Mm.
why.
I was the guy that was always going for that Kings team against the Lakers, man.
Yeah.
I was always like, come on,
Chris
Peja
Webber.
Stojakovic, come on,
Peja
come on,
Stojakovic.
Bibby, come on, Vladdy.
Chris Webber, Hedo Turkoglu, that
Yeah,
Sacramento
Mike-
team
yeah.
against the Lakers.
Yee.
So
I wanted for my team's sake, I was really rooting hard for that Kings team to win because if they were able to
Dang,
beat the
Jeff.
Lakers, I'm like, we're going to have a shot to win an NBA championship because I thought the Kings and the Nets at that time were very, very similar teams with one another. So that would have been a fun series. But the Kings, I thought the Kings could have won an NBA championship if that damn Lakers team was just too much to deal with Shaq and Kobe. Ralph didn't live up to his potential due to Hakeem. He could have done more, but he played out of position. It's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. Because Samson and Hakeem, the Twin Towers over there with
I mean-
the Rockets.
Mark Gasol to a point. Mark
Or even
Gasol.
Pau
to a point.
Gasol was very good back in his day, too.
Yeah.
Pau
Yeah.
Gasol was a
Powell's
tremendous
better
player
than
with
Mark.
Memphis.
Powell's
Oh,
better
yeah.
than Mark.
Oh, yeah. Powell in his
Yeah.
day was a great
Powell right in
great
the
player.
kitchen. Powell right in the kitchen.
Here's a question for everybody: do you guys think Giannis Antetokounmpo will stay with the Bucks for his whole career?
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna say
It's
yes.
that's the way it is. It's so 50-50.
I think yes, he will.
Here's another one. Dave Lillard. Is he going to leave Portland?
I'd love to see him leave.
He
I'd love to
should.
see what he could do on a
He
different
should
team.
leave. He deserves
Yeah.
to win a championship.
Yeah,
Him
I'd
and
love to
Bradley
see him.
Beal are just some of those guys that don't want to leave. They're just committed to their teams. I don't get. They're
I
just
respect
so
that,
committed.
though.
I do
respect
too.
that, but I'd love to see Lillard on a different team.
Yeah, at least getting an opportunity to play on another franchise to go out there and more people get to see how good he could be. Same thing with Giannis, because Giannis has got his championship, so and nobody could crap on anybody that craps on Giannis. He went out there and he won a championship with a Bucks team that nobody thought could win, and he did it with Middleton, who's a very good player, maybe not a superstar, but he is a star. Drew Holiday is a very good player. Brooke Lopez
God, I
is a
miss him on
solid
the
player.
Sixers.
So the Bucks are probably the team. Besides that Detroit team that won in the 2000s, you could argue that the Bucks were that one team that didn't have like multiple superstar players that won an NBA championship.
So Giannis could take over a game by himself.
He could.
He has, and he still can. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's a terrific player, and sometimes he doesn't get the respect he deserves too in the NBA. Giannis is a tremendous player in the NBA.
I'd love him on the Raptors. I'll tell you that.
I love him on my team.
George Mikan? I know I didn't see him play at all.
Game
Yeah, I didn't
changer
see him
back in the day. A lot of people weren't doing what George Mikan did back in the day.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, like I said, you got to realize in the 60s and the 70s, there was like one or two people that were this big, and everybody else was 6 foot tall. There were no bunch of 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". They were all
Bill Russell and Will
and there
Chamberlain.
was one or two people that were like humongous. So it was such a big
you had Russell and Chamberlain. You had those two guys.
and for a long time, they weren't allowed to dunk.
That's true. Because there's such an unfair advantage towards everybody else. Because Russell and Chamberlain, which is so much bigger than everybody.
Mountaineers, there you go.
Bucks, the West Virginia Mountaineers player Javon
Chad,
Clark and his
I know I'm going to jump to football, but West Virginia Mountaineers, hometown boy here, Rodney Gallagher III. Keep an eye out for him. He's going to be playing slot for West Virginia next year. Super talented.
A speed wide receiver, or is he more of a guy that can be interchangeable?
He could have got drafted for basketball or football. He chose football because he's phenomenal in basketball as well. But
He's a small
he'll be a slot
guy?
receiver, yeah. His dad's huge. If he gets his dad's height, he could play any wide receiver, but I think he's stuck in a slot because he is small, but he's fast as hell. He's very super talented.
Speaking of wide receivers, that are kids, I really believe that this Marvin Harrison Jr. kid is going to be a monster when he gets into the NFL. He's got his father's skills, and he's got height, too. That kid is going to be a beast. Ohio State.
What about
Marvin
Wemby?
Harrison Jr. is a monster on that
You guys
team.
think Wemby's going to be all he's cracked up to be?
I don't. I think that they're overhyping this kid. I don't think it's going to happen, Blaze.
I haven't seen enough to judge. That's why I'm asking.
It's also, I mean, is this kid going to be healthy? He's hot, he's tall, but look what happened with Yao. Yao had the same type of potential as this kid does, but his injury started playing into factor because of his height.
Put on some weight and stuff.
Yes.
Too. What happened to that white dude that is real tall and skinny from last year that got drafted? What the hell was his name?
Who?
Real tall and skinny white dude. Did he play for like Gonzaga or something?
Is he in the G League now?
I don't know where he is. That's why I'm asking.
I have no idea.
But he's like super tall and skinny. Somebody in the chat will let us know. I can't remember his damn name.
Yeah, do you remember? He means Chet
Yeah.
Holmgren?
Yeah.
Chet Holmgren's injured. He's out for the season with an injury.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
Chet,
that's Arku's guy. He's on Oklahoma City.
There you go. Arku got
All
it.
right,
Chet.
guys, I
That's
got to
what-
head out a few minutes early. So thank you. I hope I had fun with this. Have a
No
great
doubt
night.
about it. Thank you, Nikki. Have a great night, bro.
Have a good one, man.
Yeah, but I mean, we're probably going to close out the stream soon enough, guys. But I mean, because we're going to be streaming all day tomorrow for the NBA trade deadline. Blaze and further, if you want to hop on and just talk NBA with us, that's perfectly fine too. I mean, we're always open for
Randy
that.
left?
He just, I think his phone might have just messed up on him. He might come back.
Yeah, I do my wrestling podcast later on, not till 8:30 tomorrow night. So throughout the day, I mean,
We're starting at 10 in the
Basketball
morning.
games.
oh,
we're
I'll be
going
in
all-
bed.
We're gonna be going all day from like 10 until the deadline,
And then Jeff and I are streaming the Nets and the
Jeff,
Bulls after.
yeah,
going
we're all
all-
gonna have
You're
to-
gonna be going all day, huh, Jeff?
So this is tomorrow.
Hey now.
Pause.
Only here at Hardcore Sports.
God damn it, though. That's right.
Sorry, you can't throw that softball up without
That's
me.
true.
telling
No,
you.
you're right. No, you're right. You threw that. I threw that softball out, and you had to.
Chad, I'm
smack
not
it out
sure
of the
who
park.
that is, Chad. I haven't followed college basketball. I normally wait till football's over to start going college basketball. For
Yeah.
NFL, I'm just too much into NFL. I love college
Here's-
basketball.
Here's
And my
Randy.
Wildcats, my Kentucky Wildcats, might not even make the damn tournament.
It is. I love
Speaking of
NBA
Pitt,
trade deadline.
Pitt's been playing well.
I like any trade deadline. Even NFL trade deadline has been exciting, and I'm excited for the NFL offseason because I think it's going to be nuts. The NFL has
Hey,
become
hey,
incredibly
we're
exciting.
not
with
in the off season yet.
I don't care. I'm talking about the offseason. I don't give a damn if you're.
Mitch,
I'm
here's a
talking
question for
offseason.
you. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And I know you'll be happy, but what if the Eagles win the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs score over 30? Because you swore they would not score 30.
I think
I
it's
said
gonna
we
be
will win 30-17. So
But you did make that statement that there's no way in hell the Eagles will let the Chiefs score 30.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we win and they score 30, I'm like, okay, we got the win.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Yeah,
okay,
the
exactly.
Super Bowl champs.
You wins the win.
Doesn't
Super Bowl
matter.
champs, you can't complain.
I win the game.
I want a close game. That's all I
Coach
want.
wants to hop on for a little bit.
Oh, okay, yeah, you could. Wait, is the DMs working?
I don't know. We might have to throw it in the chat.
I gotta go, guys. I'll talk to you in a bit.
No, my DMs
All right.
aren't working.
All right, Randy, pop
Take it easy, Randy.
my two or Bobby.
Thanks,
All right.
Blaze, for coming on, bud.
Hey, my pleasure. I love it.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's the link.
So,
Can the elimination chamber actually come faster?
I appreciate you dropping a link in the chat because I've seen some real bad shit happen when people drop the StreamYards link in the chat. Like, you got to be
Yeah.
very careful who you let in because I've seen people, oh, I know this guy because the name's right. And then all of a sudden there's a big dong hanging on the screen.
Yeah.
And then you get the stream taken down. But
That's
no.
why I always try to get. I try to do it through Twitter. I don't like dropping the link in the stream in the chat. You gotta always be careful when it comes to that stuff.
I don't
agree
either.
with you.
Yeah, Almighty popped in on your heart of the city and he started cursing. Ugh.
Bills
Yeah.
apparently just made a hire. Bills are hiring Al Holcomb, who is the Panthers' interim defensive coordinator, and he's joining Buffalo as a senior defensive assistant. So the Bills just hired somebody as a senior defensive assistant to the defensive coordinator. So a little bit of NFL news if you were interested.
I think I'm a little hyped for Elimination Chamber too, like you brought up, Mitch. I think it's going to be fun.
I am.
It's going to be a great pay-per-view. It's going to be the card stacked up right now for that pay-per-view next Saturday. It looks absolutely phenomenal.
As
Every
long
match
as the
you
match,
can't miss.
as
Saturday?
long as the matches are better than the lights out match, I'm fine.
What lights? Oh, the pitch black match?
Yeah.
I thought the visual was pretty cool on that match. Did you guys see the picture of Bray when he goes upside down? It's a pig.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal. The
That was
details
good.
in that story.
The details and the visuals were great, but the concept and the match itself were absolutely idiotic.
I
It
just
just-
right now the most
He
compelling story in all
When
of wrestling
Uncle
is,
Howdy jumped off.
It's the
Right?
bloodline.
or did he get pushed? We haven't found out yet. Or did the puppets push him?
I think it's the bloodline. And
I'll be
the
talking
Cody
a lot.
promo.
I'll be talking a lot about that. I just wrote up my outline for tomorrow night on the Wrestle Sense podcast. That the promos with Roman and Cody and the payment. It's been so phenomenal.
Oh, that Cody
That whole
and Roman
story's so
promo
great.
was absolutely out of this world. How good that was.
So great.
That
I
was
can't wait to talk about that.
That was so good. I mean, you talk about two of the best storytellers. You even said it in the chat on Monday, Blaze.
Do the
that
best
you
on
talk
the
about-
mic of all time.
Exactly. That's just one of those things you shut the hell up and you let them talk. Just
Well,
let
that's why I
them tell that
tweeted.
story.
Anybody who questions whether or not Cody Rhodes is a top tier talent, a face of a company type, go watch that and see what he's
Yeah.
done since he's come back.
He knows how to
He's
tell
proven it.
stories. Nobody.
People to say, "Oh, he's only Gold Dust's partner," or start now.
Yeah, please, please. The guy
What
is
he
one
did
of the
in the
best
Indies and
storytellers
AEW
in
made
wrestling.
that version. That's the version that we're getting right now. That's why I love it so much too. And I separate the two. WWE and AEW are two different types of show. We've talked about that before, Jeff.
Mhm.
I enjoy it. I just think wrestling right now, there's so much to watch, so much fun things.
It is, and both shows are clicking right now. I think AEW has been clicking very well in terms of the shows they've been throwing out there.
Well, they've
too.
never
And
had
I-
a full roster over a year
Never
now with all
Orange
the injuries
Cassidy.
and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah, you love Orange Cassidy, Mitch. You know it.
Lock.
I got to get a picture I can superimpose Mitch's head on Orange Cassidy's body.
Hey, Coach.
What's up, guys? How are you? How's
Doing good. How are you doing, Coach?
Orange Koski.
I'm cool. Thanks.
So what's going on, Coach?
All right. What are we talking about?
Well, we were talking
Everything.
about wrestling for a little bit,
Back
but we're
and
mostly
forth.
talking about like NBA stuff, past players, present, trade deadline, all that. But while we have you on here, Coach,
Mhm.
and we talked about it a little bit last time on the Heart of the City with me, you, and MYG 22.
Mhm.
Why don't you talk about what you're looking forward with the Knicks going into the trade deadline? So you can give like a Knicks breakdown of what you're expecting and what might happen at the trade deadline.
My dream, my fantasy I would hear Tibbs is fired. That would be the number one thing. But other than that, realistically, nothing. Don't do anything.
Trade Doc Rivers for Tibbs. There you go.
I mean that's fine. I would do that. Yeah, sure. But
Trade coaches.
but overall,
Doc Rivers was actually traded before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he was.
You really can't do much because of RJ. RJ's not living up to his contract, so he's really hurting the team. And of course, Randall. You're forcing the team to look to trade Obi. I mean, do I think they're probably going to do something? Yeah, I think Obi's going, honestly, tomorrow. I'm afraid Quickly's gone. Reddish is gone. Because I also have heard that they're trying to get rid of Fournier and they're trying to help Derrick Rose get to a contender. So you're going to have to, throw draft picks as well as young talent with their contracts.
I was just going to say, Coach, do you think they're going to go for a big name, young talent, or picks, or
The
a mix
biggest
of all
name,
three?
the biggest name, you're probably going to wait for it till after the season, is to see what happens with Kevin Durant, because that's the superstar New York would crave.
Yep.
Other than that, what other superstar would the Knicks really, crave? I mean, I know what's his name up in Toronto, OG, I think.
OG Anunoby, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. He's a defensive guy. He's a good 3-and-D, so I get it. He probably would fit in, and plus you can move Grimes to the second unit and he would do well with that. But, what are you giving up to get him? And you're going to have to give up a lot of draft picks as well as young talent. And the Knicks are not championship contenders, even if you get him. So it's not worth it, in my opinion. So I say stand pat, and just play out the season, see where you go. And then, next year you have, all the draft picks, you still have the young talent, see what happens next year. Because right now, I honestly believe certain teams want to see what happens with Durant. Like you said, Jeff, he needs to come out and say he wants to stay with the Nets. But if he doesn't do that and he just plays out the season to see what happens, does he say after the season, I want to be traded? So if teams sit down and they go and they give up capital to get OG or Gary Trent or Fred VanVleet or whoever, does that put them out of the running to possibly get him? If I'm the Knicks, if New York wants a superstar, that's who, I think they would go after. Personally, I wouldn't even go after Durant because he's 34, injury prone. You're going to have to give up too much to get him. But I know New York is starved. The New York Knicks fan base is starved for a superstar, and they would throw everything because they didn't get Donovan Mitchell. So,
just like we talked about earlier too, Coach. Like when was KD at his top, and when he was surrounded by other stars? I mean, you guys, I think, would be better off not going for one big star, but building for the future. So I feel you where you're coming from on that.
As a championship, yes, but I don't know that season when him and Russell and Harden, when they went to the
finals.
Yeah. I really think that was his best basketball. I get because he had other talent around him, but he had that type of talent, and look what he was doing and how he was producing and controlling and dominating the series. Now he didn't hit some clutch shots. I get it, but he was also young. I mean, he was in his third year?
Yeah.
So
I think that was Harden was a rookie that year too.
Yeah, where Harden was young, fresh out, so developing, and imagine if you had them, all three of them, prime at OKC.
Yeah, they should have been dominant for a while. If you look back at it now, man, it's crazy.
Exactly, and that's the point. It's like, you know, if they had stuck together, and I know hindsight is 2020.
Yeah.
If they stuck together, yeah, championships would have been running through OKC, at least one or two.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing they did was when they decided to trade Harden away over to Houston instead of trying to lock him up to a deal. They should have tried to keep those three guys together, and Oklahoma City could have had a little bit of a dynasty, or could have been a dominant team in the Western Conference for a very long time. Could have been them and Miami in the championship multiple times. And obviously with Miami having those big three as well. So that was the one thing that they messed up on, is they didn't try to keep Harden, instead traded him away, when not giving that team a real shot at going out there and potentially winning a championship. So,
Jeff, how do you think KD truly feels about Kyrie?
That's a great question. That's $1 million question. Right? If I could be a fly on the wall with them in the locker room to know more about that relationship.
That's a great question.
KD, real good. Remember, KD was, well, the rumor was he was going to the Knicks, and Kyrie talked him out of it. So he sidetracked his career, or where he was going, because if he went to the Knicks, you know, as the Michael K would say, he would be a god in New York City.
Oh yeah.
And I know, Jeff, we have the argument about who runs the city and all of that. But you know, if he's with the Knicks, trust me, his level of fandom would grow even more because of it. But because Kyrie talked him into that, and all the drama from, you know, the tweet with the anti-Semitism, with, you know, just everything, sitting out because
it's a distraction.
Yeah. And I'm not saying Kyrie is a bad person. So anyone, please don't come at me like that. That's not what I'm saying. No, he's a good dude. He means well. He's well intended. It's just that when he presents or goes after things or gets involved with things, it ends up a bad situation. And the fun thing is, a lot of people who don't really know Kyrie don't realize this actually started in high school. He played at Montclair Immaculate in New Jersey, and his father wanted to get him to a bigger high school program, so that they transferred him over to St. Patrick's, because St. Patrick's at the time was an elite program, and that's how he ended up getting to Duke. And that's
what's up, Adam?
What's up, Adam? That's where it really started, and in a sense, that's where he saw the power that he has, not just in his basketball skills, but his voice. I mean, at Duke, he didn't play a lot at Duke. I think he played half the season or quarter of the season, because he was injured.
So. Yeah.
And then he came out his freshman year, and he was the #1 overall draft pick.
Yeah.
You know, and look what he did at Cleveland, and with LeBron, he should have stayed with LeBron. Sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
It's with Kyrie, for what he did to KD. If I'm KD, I'm like, yo, I sidetracked everything for you. I could have said, you know, and KD, I'm going to be honest, KD should have been the alpha dog in that relationship. Yo, Kyrie, no, this is what we're doing. We're not going after Harden. If we're going to play here, we're keeping what we got, and we're going for the championship. And every time, you know, Kyrie, you know, whatever, he needed to put him in check, and he didn't. Kyrie was the alpha dog, and he let him be that way, even though KD's talent surpasses Kyrie's. So if I'm KD, I don't trust you. I feel let down. I feel stabbed in the
Sleeping
back.
Angels.
Right.
So
Same with DeAndre Jordan. Remember him?
Yes.
They recruited him to be a part of that team as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it. We didn't want DeAndre Jordan originally because we had Jared Allen, but they pretty much had no choice because they wanted to have the three of them come there together. And that really that's another reason probably why they had to trade away Jared Allen, because DeAndre Jordan was there.
Exactly.
And that one trade of all those guys and draft picks for James Harden is what started the downfall of this team. Bless you, Blaze. That's
I was
really
Mr.
started
Cobb.
the downfall.
As a general NBA fan, I would love to see the Knicks come back to prominence, because I remember, you know, the Bernard Kings and the Ewings, and back in the day when the Knicks were at a height. It will just help the game completely, because it's such a hub for basketball. So I would love to see the Knicks come back to prominence somehow. You got to get that superstar.
basketball, when it's popping in New York, Chicago, and LA with the Lakers,
Yes.
basketball, and Boston, and Philly. I won't. I'm not going to forget
That's
Philly.
no shade on any other teams
No,
out there.
no,
It's
no,
just-
no, no.
Nothing
It's
there.
just it's the markets. Let's be real. It's the markets. It draws when they're on popping and winning. They get more viewership, and that's just the reality. It's more people in those areas, and you know it's the history. I mean, the Sixers. I mean, when they had Dr. J, Moses Malone, Bobby Jones, Maurice Cheeks, Andrew Toney. I mean, that team was nasty. And look at how, you know, the eyes when they were playing, you know, in the NBA going against Boston. I mean, you know, I as a
Exactly.
fan was watching and in tune with that. And I was, you know, rooting for Dr. J to get him a championship because I didn't want him to end up being like a Dan Marino. You know, I wanted him to at least have one, you know, and then, you know, yeah, they beat the Lakers in the finals.
Lakers
You know,
and Boston owned it back then, but yeah, they did
yes.
finally get that ring.
But when you have those markets playing well, you know, I know they always talk about, well, nowadays, you know, you have the small markets and, you know, because of TV and social media, yeah. But let's be real. When those teams are playing well, no matter what, the NBA, the brand picks up. It's just the perception, and perception is reality.
Yeah, and at the same time, you can't say there's not parity in the NBA because
No,
you see,
yes.
like you said, smaller market teams that can make it to
Yes.
the playoffs, that can lead the division. But to have the Knicks, Celtics,
Yes.
Lakers, those teams that, you know, brought the NBA to where it is in the 80s, the Knicks are the only team that have not been up there out of all those teams in the last, decade or so. So I'd love to see it, maybe even more.
Yes.
But they're missing that superstar, that name to link. I mean, they were talking about Zion before. Thank God you guys didn't get him at this point with all the injuries and waste money on him.
I'm gonna
But
be
you need that
brutally.
superstar to build around.
I'll be brutally honest. I wanted the Knicks to go 1 or 2. If they had one, I actually wanted John Morant.
Yeah.
As much as I followed Zion and I watched that Duke team, you know, I did watch them. I mean, and I was impressed with some of the things. But remember, coming out of high school, Zion wasn't. RJ was the number 1 recruit. Zion wasn't.
Yep.
Zion had to build himself up, and most
Yep.
people follow him. Why? Because of his powerful dunks,
I
and
really
because
hope
of
he
the
can
big.
come back. I really hope he can
Exactly.
come back and do something, no matter what team he's on, because it's like they were saying he was like a Barkley that could fly
Yes.
like a Jordan and all these
Yeah.
mix of all these players. And
Mhm.
because of his injuries, we've never got to see the real
him.
potential of him
It's-
to this point. It's a shame.
Exactly. Zion to me is to be so big. He's actually a combination for me of, like you said, Charles Barkley and Shaq. Like
Yeah.
he's the baby child. If you clone those two,
He
and
will
that
go
means-
through people. That's what I love about him.
exactly.
Yeah.
and
And you
he
can't get in his way.
exactly. Guys are intimidated to, you know, take a charge from him, and he can just move you. You know, like Zion to me, honestly, I think he could play football and dominate in football.
The
That's-
Oh
left
my
hand-
God,
People
yes, he
said
could.
you'll be a good tight end.
I can't speak upon because I played basketball my whole life. A left-hander changes how you play defense.
Yes.
And the
Yes.
things he can do with his left hand to
Yes.
go to the hoop, it's hard
Yes.
to stop because everyone's trained and used to 90% of the players with their right hand. But him,
Exactly.
what he could do with his left hand is phenomenal.
Exactly, and that's why, you
And
know,
stay healthy.
exactly. It's I wonder. I mean, I don't think he's, to be brutally honest, I don't think he's trained properly. You know, and that's going back to high school. He's athletic and he's big and he just knew he could move people. So you're really not going to train well. And, you know, he didn't have the time at Duke to really get into a weight training program to really develop his body. And then you get into the NBA and you're going against grown men and your body is not developed. And I wonder how much he's really dedicated himself into weight training, because that does that really helps a whole lot.
Well, we've seen him big. We've seen him kind of lean. I think it all started when he blew out that shoe.
Yes.
Like he blew out that shoe, and the next thing you know, people were questioning whether he could stay healthy, whether he could do. I mean, as weird as that sounds, I mean, I think you know where I'm coming from. It's like no one really questioned him until that happened, and then it's like then another injury, then another injury.
Exactly.
Man.
So Zion and like I was saying earlier, in that draft, I actually wanted John Morant for the Knicks. He's what I wanted, because that, first of all, it would have given us the point guard that we so desperately needed at that time. You know, so I mean, yes, we got RJ. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we've had our ups and downs with him. This year, he's not producing, living up to the contract. So it's a great disappointment. You know, I mean, he has the mindset to be in New York, that I will say, but I also think that's because of his father. I mean, his father played at St. John's. His father is New York. So, you know, he prepped him for New York City. So I don't worry about, you know.
As much as I said I like Julius Randle earlier, he can't be your number one superstar.
No.
We don't. Toy Story 5. Oh, my God.
Jeez. No, it should be RJ Barrett. To me, RJ Barrett should be the number one guy on that team. And right now, he's not meeting up to the contract. He's not meeting up to his potential. He's the number 3 guy on that Knicks team, and that's a problem. It should not. That offense should not be running
behind Mitchell Robinson.
Okay,
well, Robinson can never stay healthy either. That's the problem with Robinson.
You said he should be. He's not talented enough to be the number 1. Sorry, he's not. Yeah. He and Randall are not. They're number 2 pieces. They're number 2.
If you guys could somehow keep the team you have and bring one huge superstar there, and you have a lot of the pieces.
Of course. You know, if you put in, you know,
like a KD, like you're saying, if you put in the KD, good with that.
But the thing with KD is you're going to have to give up a lot of your bench, a lot of the young guys, and the one guy right now who I think everyone is going to want is Quickly, and I can't blame them. But he's the one I don't want to see go because ever since he came, I've always said he's been there to me. Quickly and Obi.
I want Quickly and Grimes. Those are the first 2 guys I've been looking at. Is Quickly and Grimes out of your players. If we're going to,
I think Grimes is not going anywhere.
No, I don't think Grimes is going anywhere. Deuce is also not going anywhere. That's why Quickly is expendable. If Deuce's game, now this is what I mean. I understand it's the G League, but he goes down to the G League and he's putting up 30 points easy. He's putting up 30 points in the G League, so that's telling me he can get you 15 in the NBA.
They're doing phenomenal stuff in that G League. They're doing phenomenal stuff. I mean, you look at the projected draft picks for next year. There's like 3 or 4 coming from Ignite and shit like that. Like these other teams. You know,
look at Jordan Poole. Look at Jordan Poole. Look at what he did coming from the G League last year for Golden State, and the job that he did helping push that team over the top and getting.
I wish kids were staying in college for 4 years again. That's where the difference is there. The maturity level, they grow so much in that age that's why you see these kids that are going to the G League, going overseas and doing better and then coming back and doing
well. Here's my thing on that. And unfortunately, I'm against all that. And I'm even against it in the NFL. I understand they're not physically ready, but once they graduate high school, they are legal adults. Who are we to tell them they should not go out and go for whatever business they want to? Now,
they can make money in college now. They can get NIL money now.
Yes.
So that's a little bit of a difference.
That's a little bit.
I agree where you're coming from.
So, and that's my whole thing. It was just a matter of, you know what, you have regular high school kids who are coming out and, you know, well, daddy get you in a job paying you right off the bat, you know, 6 figures, pushing 7 figures. If you have it like that, you know, I mean, how are you going to tell a high school kid who has the athletic ability to get to the NBA? No, you can't because, you know, it's hurting the product. Then do like baseball does. Develop a minor league. See, baseball does it right. You either go to college and you go for 3 years before you can come to the major leagues, or you come here and you go down to the minors and build your way up. Now, if both NBA and the NFL did that, I think it would make the sports so much better. But they don't want to do it because of the money, which is stupid to me. It does not make sense.
Yep. All right, guys, I'm going to have to call it here. I have another stream in like 5-10 minutes.
Oh, all right, bro.
No, we're good.
I have to say this. Yeah. Blaze and Coach, that was a phenomenal discussion between the two.
Yes.
Both of you guys, that was great. I just want to shut the hell up and just listen to the 2 of you guys. Just
this is what I was doing.
If you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer this.
You were there.
You don't mind if you don't mind me asking, but you don't have to answer this. How old are you?
I'll be 56.
I'm 49. You got 2 boomers here who have seen sports for 30, 40 years. That's why. And I love talking sports. I would never claim to be an expert. I would never claim to be an expert in any sport. I love basketball first, but like you said, I'd love conversation with you guys. And we get different generations from 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, all here in one thing. That's why you guys got something special going on here, and I appreciate it.
No, I appreciate you guys because that honestly, I love learning about like all this stuff back in the day. Love learning about these old school players that I never got a chance to watch. So that's why listening to the 2 of you Coach and Blaze be able to like talk about that kind of stuff is fantastic. And I
You're not that young, no, Jeff. I know how old you are.
I know. I'm not that young, but like still, I'm still like learning some of these aspects.
I'm
Yeah,
the one that's
you're
young.
right.
Me and AM are the ones that young. That are young.
It doesn't matter though. I mean, everyone, you guys that are young can remember things better than us old people can.
Yeah.
And absorb stats and stuff a lot better. So I give you, you got a good mix of all the different types of things, and that's why it's special.
All right, guys. Thank you all for coming in. Tomorrow,
Thank you,
Jeff
guys.
and I and Blaze, Coach, AM, you guys are more welcome to be on the NBA trade deadline stream tomorrow.
I'll pop in.
Sean Marks, please just don't F it up. Please.
Who?
Please don't F it up, Sean Marks. I'm begging you. I'm scared to death he's going to get desperate. I'm scared to death he's going to do something desperate to appease Kevin Durant. He's going to screw this team. I'm scared.
You scared?
I'm scared. I'm very scared. I am very scared that Sean Marks is going to do something desperate.
Oh, I'm
to make Kevin Durant
laughing. I'm
happy.
going to sit here and laugh.
Yeah.
It's going to be an interesting day in the NBA. Thanks, Mitch.
All right.
Thank you, Blaze. Thank you, Coach. Thank you further, Randy, Nikki, Mitch. Obviously, we appreciate everybody being here for the Pick and Roll podcast, episode number 11. We will be here tomorrow, all day, covering the NBA trade deadline, news, notes, trades that happen, all the way towards the end. And I hope all you guys have a great rest of your day and enjoy. Thank you all for coming.
Yep. On that note, guys, we are out. Have a good one. I'll see you guys in like 10 minutes.
Take it easy, everybody.